Assemble the accused! Bear witness to their trials. The time of the Inquisition is now at hand. Putting pop culture to the rack, the Inquisition calls to account the events of the week, rooting out heresy wherever it is found. I am Grand Inquisitor Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth. And joining me for tonight's torture is Nerdrotic Channel's Grand Inquisitor, Gary Beekler. Gary, how's it going?
It's going all right. I mean, like, it's good on the channel. Things are going great over here, but I'm a Doctor Who fan. You're a Doctor Who fan. There's a lot of Doctor Who fans. Things aren't going so great.
No.
If you think I'm all happy that it's falling apart and this somehow is helping me or us, it's not.
No.
I mean, I'm happy we're all together. But the reason this is happening is because people like to make the best of a good situation. And the beautiful thing that has come out of it is the Phantom Menace. And I am very appreciative of that. And thank you. But watching my favorite TV show get eviscerated sucks. And while this was the best written first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, I messed up my thing. And of the Chibnall era, it also is the worst because it lays the groundwork for the destruction of the Time Lords past, the patriarchal Time Lords.
No. Are you saying that at the end of this, we're going to have a bunch of fucking time ladies?
Yeah. Or worse, the Time Lords are, they represent colonialism, appropriating culture. So that timeless child, I guessed it in my live stream that it might be represented as a little girl, and the Rassilon and Omega probably stole the Time Lord technology, and I use that in air quotes, from somebody else, which may be represented as a female in some form or another. I could be wrong, but I have been watching television in 2019. We just finished watching Watchmen, which essentially did that. We just finished watching The Fall of Skywalker. We watched Spock get inspired by Michael Burnham. Anything is possible in these dark times.
These horrible dark times. Well, I have a modest proposal of what really they should do to unite the woke factions in 2020. To complete the destruction of pop culture that they started. So she should get like in the mystery of, the source of the powers of, the Time Lords, that they were colonialized from a woman. And that woman is Mikey Spock. Oh. I think it would be perfect if it was little Mikey Spock who threw the stars in the sky and created the heavens and the earth. And then, she had that power inside of her, and then they stole it from Mikey Spock, right? Mm-hmm. So then, of course, Mikey Spock goes on to, the Doctor gives Mikey Spock back her powers and ends the Time Lords, right? And then Mikey Spock goes on to, become very successful. But like Michael Jackson, goes a little bit crazy, gets plastic surgery, dyes her skin, and then becomes the amazing Wonder Ray. And then you see, and then
connected, man.
It's the whole thing. It's a grand unification of suck. And I've noticed that Daisy Ridley's nose looks a little bit like Michael Jackson's post-surgery. I mean, it's like very pointy. So I could believe that, Mikey Spock going, Michael Jackson and getting, her skin dyed and becoming, getting the surgery done would look like Daisy Ridley. And then, of course, Daisy Ridley ends the Jedi and ends the Skywalkers. So basically, we're getting rid, in one fell swoop, a master stroke of the Time Lords and the entirety of Starfleet, the patriarchy that is Starfleet, and all the Jedi. By this one wonderfulest, bestest ever. It's the tripartite bestest ever. The three faces of Eve. That's what it is.
Oh, that is a good name for it. The Three Faces of Eve. And that's exactly what's happening. And as you give us that account, I'm trying to think of like a case of where gender swapping, sex swapping has worked successfully. I mean, recently, in some characters it has worked. I mean, arguably, I know there's some Battlestar Galactica fans who are still pissed off about Ronald D. Moore, but I liked it because it was an alternate universe. It didn't step on the original. The originals remained intact. So, and still does.
Absolutely. It was totally a different universe. I mean, entirely. It was completely split off. I mean, there weren't aliens. It was for a dramatic, valid reason, because what it did is it added a whole new dynamic between Apollo and Starbuck and his brother Zach, and how Adama looked at her as his daughter. I mean, and I mean, my God, they had a lot of dramatic weight to that when it came out that basically Kara was responsible for Zach's death. Because she passed him in flight school when she should not have. Remember that? And
yes,
and
I mean, was the
come
big
on
moment.
Now. That is not just fucking doing like this garbage, like just gender swapping for the F of it, for the propaganda value. It was for dramatic reasons. The guy had a vision and implemented it. So
Yeah,
I mean it's for valid storytelling reasons. That's a big difference from what these idiots are doing. Huge difference.
No, and Katie Sackhoff also. I mean, what else? They also found the right person for the role.
Man.
She was amazing. She would have been a great Captain Marvel. Always
She'd have been a great doctor. Yeah, I mean, you could have had her. They could have given her an accent.
She could, because she can act and she can be intimidating, and that's what we need. And you're right. See, the problem with Jodie is like, listen, I'm against the whole idea from the get-go. I think if you want to build a show from scratch, you use Romana, great, fine. But good writing can win me over all the time.
Yes.
And they were lazy. They Chris Chibnall, rumors around that she wasn't even his first choice. She was so he just chose the second person he'd worked with before on a previous show.
Right.
I know they did auditions and all that stuff, but
they did.
Yeah, apparently they did. But they were just to do them. They were, they weren't taken very seriously, and it shows. She's the thing that stops this show from moving forward. Period.
She's horrible.
She is. Now, I said in my live stream today, I'm going to repeat it now. This was the best written episode, but the acting still sucks, and it just gets halted every time they use the political correct crap. And the diversity and inclusion initiative was evident again in this episode when we had, as you stated, Stunning and Brave show up.
That's right. Stunning and Brave, the two women of the apocalypse. It was sad. Oh, and did you catch that when the girl goes to work the airhead gun? Oh, I mean the air gun. When she used it, it was an airhead gun. And he said, but only a man is supposed to use that gun. And she said some shit about I don't know.
But yet a woman is doing it. Oh, and then the other scientist said that when he was talking about the Steel Lady sculpture, he's all, and it's just like a woman. It's beautiful on display, but serves no real purpose. It's like, what the? Which I laughed my ass off when I heard that. But yeah, I don't think that
ornamental purpose.
Or yes, ornamental purposes. That's right. It's like, oh shit. See, this is. And that's the kind of stuff that takes me out of the episode. And I want to try to take it seriously. That ship has sailed. It's gone. There's no way the show can be good.
It's crap. And if it was historically accurate, then wouldn't they have been staring at her wearing like basically men's clothes in that era? I mean, it would have just stopped. The whole damn place would have stopped, and they would have stared at her everywhere she went. But
imagine David Tennant running around in a dress, because that's the flip side of this, and this is the problem you have when you have a female doctor and you're going to go into the past and in the past, and they did this in Dracula too, the women are all of a sudden like amazingly stunning and brave and bisexual and freaking, that's like, I mean, I don't want to get into I know you haven't seen Dracula. I watched the first 2 episodes and it was fucking ridiculous.
Is it on BBC America or
it's on Netflix?
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yes, it's on Netflix.
Well, I'll watch the damn thing. I'm just gonna make me furious though.
It is. Oh, it is. It's structured like Sherlock, so it's 3 episodes that are about an hour and a half long, and it's written just like Sherlock, which is a little more Mark Gatiss and a little less Stephen Moffat, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but it felt more Mark Gatiss, and I'm not a Mark Gatiss fan at all in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
As far as his writing is concerned, he's okay as an actor, I guess, but
right.
I never. There's only one Doctor Who episode. The Unquiet Dead is the only one I liked, and that's because it has Eccleston. Yeah, it's the whole episode. The companion part was the best part when they were not with the Doctor and Graham was kind of running things, and I like Bradley Walsh. Yaz is useless. Ryan Tolson Cole is Ryan. Like, he could be good in other things, but he's not good in this. And then the Doctor went through time to meet Stunning and Brave. And Brave, by the way, was Annette, newer Annette. I'm saying that wrong. Khan. I did a video on this, and the Doctor doesn't even, try to save her life, because after the Doctor leaves and wipes her memory, that young lady unfortunately goes to the German places where people didn't come back from and gets tortured and dies. But I'm glad they put her in a Doctor Who episode instead of maybe making a documentary about this very heroic real person. And again, it just comes off as exploitive, so we can go, look at that. Ooh, look what we did. Yes.
Good old doctor. Yeah. Just a great job there, honey.
Yeah. Jesus.
Wonderful.
And
of course, she can't change history, but on the other hand, acting like this is a great triumph. It's just sad.
Say a fixed point in time, do something. I mean, she didn't say anything. And wipes the memory. And this episode was filled with, ripoffs from the Tennant era. I mean, that's all it was little blocks of ripoff. It started out ripping off Blink, and then it ripped off Doomsday again, then The Sound of Drums, and then it tried to remind you of City of Death, Eiffel Tower. They did the Contact thing. She says deep breath, and one thing too. You remember Capaldi's first episode? I mean, everything was a member berry. So I equated the Spyfall Part 1 and 2 as Chibnall's The Force Awakens. That's what he did. And somebody in my chat, it might have been Nicholas Horton, brilliantly said, because Stephen Moffat is the British Jar Jar Abrams, then Chris Chibnall is the British Rian Johnson. Which I went, bravo, you're right. Because there's a disdain there. There's a disdain there for fandom and Doctor Who. Remember, he didn't want to do the show unless it was a female Doctor.
Yep.
Echoes of Alex Kurtzman, who recently said one of the cringiest lines of all time. Quotes. I've never been able to write men. I've always been more comfortable writing women. Writing women, not writing women.
Hey-o.
So I don't know. What did you think of Sasha Dewan's Master?
Well, honestly, I thought it was the only decent thing on the whole damn show. I mean, he had the weird manic. Is kind of interesting to me. I mean, I think obviously that the Master from the Tennant era was a lot better. But honestly, I think the guy did quite a good job. And I mean, I tweeted out during the episode, what is the sign, the absolute ultimate sign of when Doctor Who has jumped the shark? And the answer is when you are rooting for the Master to kill everyone.
Yep.
And I said, I'm there.
That's good.
That was it. That's what I am at. I liked him a lot more. I was just wanting him to put this show out of our misery. But I was also frustrated by how badly he was written, because does he want to kill the Doctor or not? Because he's got all these elaborate BS schemes, blow the cockpit up, blah, blah, blah. What? She's alive? Doctor Who is alive? And then up there on the tower, he's just chatting with her. He's not trying to punch her, not trying to throw her over the cliff. How about just pulling out a Luger and just plugging her? I mean, it's just so It's just so stupid.
Yeah, they have to stick with these are brothers essentially. Sorry, but they're
And
brothers.
Yet he's trying to kill the doctor.
He's trying to, yeah, I've always got the impression until these episodes, which make no sense. And yes, the Masters tried to kill him before, but in the modern era, they've really slanted it towards he wanted to torture the doctor. He feels resentful because he looks as the doctor as favored, and the Master's resentful. The way they spun it in the RTD era was essentially the Master went mad when he looked into the time vortex, because you do that as a child. You were taken as a child and trained as a Time Lord, and you look at the all of space and time, and they discuss. Everybody's seen this episode, and the Master looked at, some people get inspired, some people get scared, and some people just go insane, and that's what he did. And we're not going to bury the lead here. Sorry, spoilers. The Time Lords have been again killed. which you just rehashed the Time War in the weakest way. The Time War was a great concept. I kind of wish they never got rid of it, but I like the 50th anniversary episode. I like what they did. They went through all this effort to save Gallifrey, put it in a bubble, and they could have just left it gone and not reintroduce it. And Joel Burrows sent us an email that we're going to read later on why the Time Lords are important to Doctor Who, and they are. But now that you've done this deed, and especially since you brought him back, I mean, all it looks like now is the male doctors failed, and where the female doctor, she'll save them better or something, maybe.
Of course.
Or we'll find out that they were appropriating something and it was all built on a lie, and the doctor's new mission is now to make things right, to put everything back, which could be, again, this is the BBC. Nothing would surprise me at this point. But the only theories we're trying to think of are which woke direction is Doctor Who going to go? It's not going to be like, is this going to be good television? So we're a long way off from getting good Doctor Who again. So I don't know. The ratings fell. I don't know what they'll be for this episode, and I honestly don't care. But I know the overnight ratings for a festive special fell. They were the lowest festive special ever. Okay, lowest rated festive special ever. And if you compare premiere episode from series 11 to series 12, it was a 57% drop in the UK and the States.
Wow.
And nobody's watching over here.
I mean, they lost 3 million viewers. Is that not correct?
Yeah, they lost an insane amount of viewers.
Most shows don't have 3 million viewers. So
not here. Well, they don't have 3 million viewers in the States. They had about 1.5 million from the Capaldi run. See, it's been the Capaldi run kind of started all this. Then the wow factor of Jodie brought some of it back, but that was clearly just normies being interested by a shiny light that was thrown in front of their face, and they are clearly not interested in the show anymore. And you just saw like the best of it. They came out. It's going to be. Did you notice the trailers are mostly from this 2 episodes? Like most of the footage is from these 2 episodes.
Right.
There's a reason for that. And interestingly enough, the Christmas special for next year, or the holiday special, has already been shot.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
that is interesting.
What are they trying to do? Make sure that Jodie sticks around for Christmas?
I don't know.
It's gonna
probably. I mean, like, she's gonna get another season unless this thing like hits rock bottom, which it could. They already started production on another season, so that's charity at this point. But that's what the BBC can do. But I don't see her. Listen, folks, she's not going past 3. That's just guaranteed, not going past 3. Chibnall came out in an interview recently, and he talked about Patrick Troughton saying you should never play the Doctor, past 3 seasons anyway. And why would you bring that up if you weren't going to leave? So that, yeah, but it's going to be 4 or 5 years till we get another Doctor, and it could be just more of the same. It could be just a woke male Doctor. Sacha Dhawan would actually be a pretty good Doctor, and that's what a Master is supposed to be. It could be somebody who could play the Doctor. And he was in Dracula too. he was in Dracula too. I'm like, God damn, that guy's everywhere. So yeah, this isn't the way I wanted to celebrate 200K, but I'm glad Doomcock is here. I'm glad you're all with me, and we can discuss more of this. Listen, we said the battle wasn't over after the fall of Skywalker, and we weren't kidding. Okay.
No, not. And by the way, congratulations on 200,000 subscribers. Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been quite a ride. You and I have had a really good second half of the year. Last 3 months.
Have.
Yeah, it's been pretty fantastic.
It really has.
I do want to point out to all the Ada Lovelace invented the computer fans out there. I want to just point out one little thing. If we can, there it is right there.
Please do.
That's the first computer, folks. It was invented. We don't know who invented it. It was found off the shores of Greece, I believe. It was dated back to a time where they didn't have computers. This technology should not exist from where it came from, but it does. It's the Antikythera mechanism. That's the first computer.
Yep.
But, it's okay. Watch your Doctor Who, and we'll go from there. So we know. So they killed all the Time Lords again, to try to bring back that these are the last two people. It was a very cheap way to do it, just like they ripped off. I mean, they ripped off a bunch of plot points from the RTD and Moffat era. We've already talked about that. So how did the Master kill all the Time Lords, by the way? He must have had help from.
Well, I understand that he got a tip from a coyote, and he ordered something from Acme, and lo and behold, it worked. It's the damnedest thing. So leave it to the Master to succeed where Wile E. Coyote failed.
Yep, exactly. So
I don't know. It's stupid.
It's stupid. They mentioned the timeless child. We see a little girl, and that's what made me come up with that theory. And it's just nobody listen. Even that this was an improvement, it's still bad. If we're going, wow, it wasn't that terrible, and they had to do things to remind us of the Russell T Davies Moffat era. That's not good. That's not good. That's not healthy.
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't terrible. I think it was. I mean, I don't even necessarily agree.
It was terrible.
But it was awful. I mean, what can anybody tell me?
Season 11 was worse. Like much worse. Like much worse.
But it's kind of like, well, I should look. Can anyone explain to me why Mr. Google, Mr. Vox, Mr. what's his name? Why does he want to do this? I mean, he's just a dick. Just a dick. It never mind that he's killing off his member base. He's killing off his business. He won't be able to watch TV anymore. He won't be able to read comics or books or anything because the whole human race will be deleted. So where does he profit? Why exactly is he doing this other than moo-hoo-hoo, ha-ha, he's evil?
Yeah, his explanation was dumb.
Well, what is that? I mean, did I miss it? What is it?
It was a quick this might not have been it, but this is the only thing I can think of. And no, you're right. There's no motivation, but he said, I like to develop and research things. So he's going to use the entire human race. It's going to be a server farm. So they had a concept of let's make the human race a server farm.
I know
that's probably going to come up later. The Kardashians, whatever they're called. That's what I call them. The Kardashians are portal beings. And my guess is because they've been ripping off so much stuff, they are a portal for the Cybermen, or we're going to call them cyber people. We can't say Cybermen anymore, because we want representation with the cybers. Yes. So the cyber non-binary non-gender mechanisms are probably going to be, or maybe not. Maybe they're just going to leave it alone. This is Chibnall though. Like the Doctor Who Chibnall episodes that he wrote, arbitrary time clock or countdown. He always does that to create tension. There's got to be a countdown in all of his episodes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it made no sense. I thought because there's two masters out there. There's the Missy Master and the John Sim Master, and they're both. We didn't see either of them die, so you got to use comic book logic. They're still alive. So I thought it was two masters. I thought, for a second, it looked like that, but no, it was just a guy with mommy issues who wants to use they just came up with the concept of they wanted to show human beings as server farms so we can go after Google because the mean people on YouTube criticized our TV show.
Oh, how sad. But it's stupid.
It's really stupid.
It's really stupid. It's the same kind of level of stupid as Palpatine. It just represents a shoddy, crappy, lazy approach to narrative, where these people have a paucity of imagination and they cannot be bothered to do their fucking jobs and come up with motivation that actually is real, that makes sense. It's a disgrace. I mean, Palpatine is not going to be able to sit there for 30 years in that bizarre, effed up, strobing environment without any TV or any books or anything to drink, or it's just stupid that any intellect, even an evil one, is going to be content with just going ha ha for 30 fucking years. And it's the same thing with this guy. He's going to destroy humanity. And then what? What does this do to your stock price, asshole?
Yeah, I mean, it's really dumb when you think about it.
Stupid.
It is, and it's easy to. You could have found it. Like, you could have said he was the other surviving Time Lord, and he was some evil scientist who wanted to experiment on something, didn't care that the Time Lords died, and just wanted to work with the Master. Something. So that would have worked, or use the other Master. That would have been a much better idea. But no, the only thing this shows is not only white. This season, the big difference from last season is it's going to be men who are evil, not just white men. So they're moving ahead with that, at least.
Right. Because it's all men are guilty now.
Yeah, And I told you this was going to happen last season. I told you this was going to happen.
That's right.
And they say they're going to start with white guys and they're going to end with just guys, because the very subtle underlying message in this was men are bad. They create war. And if all the women were in charge, we'd be okay. We'd be okay.
Sure.
And
nobody ratings will tank.
Yes. Well, on your action adventure show, and that's New Who was built on action adventure. Yeah. And the fact of the matter, and this isn't going to please classic Whovians at all. Fact of the matter is nobody wanted to see an old guy running around Capaldi. I liked him, thought he was a very good doctor with bad writing. I think he could have personified the Doctor, but that's not what the normies wanted. The normies wanted a young, dashing guy, doesn't matter what he looks like, and a young, hot companion with a little bit of sexual tension that they're never going to follow up on, getting into adventures.
Right.
I prefer the single companion. Once in a while, you have.
Absolutely.
I like when they have a recurring person come in once in a while to mix it up, but I like the single companion. And that's it. And just the Doctor getting into adventures, and you have some sort of overarching story that involves the Daleks and the Cybermen. That's fine. But I mean, really, they try to. I mean, they're very simplistic with their approach, but they're simplistic when it comes to agenda and stuff. And then that makes the story even more simple. And then they do the cartoon logic thing, like you just mentioned with Daniel Barton. He's just a cartoon villain. If I would have got away with that if it wasn't for you.
Exactly. And he's so nasty about it too. He's just a hateful piece of shit. He's a one-dimensional cartoon. Whereas if you followed through on the conceit of the script, then you would have written him more like Spock, that is just doing this as an experiment and is interested in the outcome. And who knows, maybe in the genetic reprogramming, it's not only to be a server, but also to maybe take out some of the aggression of mankind or something else as well. I mean, it could have been, making the world a better place, by genetically re-engineering humanity, not just to make a stupid server farm, to serve who? It's just,
yeah, and you got a hint towards that, and I think I don't know. I don't care. The thing is, Daniel Barton talked about letting Ryan and Yaz into his office because there were Brits and his mom liked their paper. So that shows he had reverence for his mom a little bit, but then he goes off and kills her in the next episode. It makes no sense.
No.
So yeah, it was dumb. It was dumb. And you're right. And Daniel Barton ended up being nothing. The Cardassians ended up being nothing. It stopped being a spy show until Graham used the laser shoes, and that was lame.
Exactly. But they would keep playing all the time.
I know.
It's just like, oh, fuck me. You're just walking across a field and they're going, it's like, oh, come on.
But to repeat what you said, because it was a very wise statement, my friend. This is why we're friends. Some of the criticism that came my way, that has been coming my way from, and your way too, and your guys in the chat, you're not free of this either, that we're being a little too hard on Star Wars and Doctor Who, and they're actually not that bad. Yes, they are. They are that bad. All that it takes is a little bit of critical thought to think about this. I went back and I watched The Mandalorian in one binge. I did 4 episodes. I did a 4-episode binge and a 4-episode binge, and it got worse. It actually got worse for me because you start thinking about stuff on second viewing. On the contrary, I went back and watched The Witcher, and where I did find a couple of mistakes, things got better. So, I mean, that helps. And with the same with The Expanse, although I haven't watched that, but I guarantee you it'll be better. So, and you have those 2 shows to compare this to. So we just keep lowering our standards because things have gotten so shitty now that we're like, oh, they're not beating me as hard. So that's a good thing.
Exactly. And that is why I have not watched The Mandalorian except for the first episode, is because I don't know what you guys out there are being hypnotized about, but I know a mediocre show and I saw it. And I gave it a fair review, but I said, there's nothing here to excite me. It honestly, it just It reminded me of kind of the science fiction or science fantasy equivalent of an episode of Hawaii Five-0 or Scorpion or CSI Miami or some shit. I mean, it's just, I was never a single moment in the pilot where I was genuinely interested or in suspense or curious. I was just like kind of looking at the watch and just waiting for it to be over and hoping something interesting was going to happen. The closest thing to anything interesting happening in that episode, I mean, my God, you had him like busting the Bronco on that first episode. And it just literally just, it throws him. And then he gets up and he goes, now, shh, now hush down now, shh. And then I mean, come on, man. Why did he even need the stupid thing? He could have just flown over there, right? Boba Fett had a jetpack. Doesn't he have a jetpack?
He doesn't, but he's got a ship.
Don't fly now?
He's got a goddamn ship.
They don't fly now? I don't, come on, man.
Exactly. No. It was cartoon. It was a cartoon.
It was just, it wasn't even an interesting twist on a Western. It was just a Western.
Yeah.
And not an inspired one.
No, like it was oh my God, Bonanza. It was like an episode of Bonanza. Yeah.
Them James boys are over there. They're stirring up a lot of trouble. Sheriff, are you going to come in and straighten it up? I reckon I might.
For a price.
And then of course Baby Yoda, and then everyone. I'm sorry, I don't know. I haven't seen Baby Yoda, so I don't know. All I saw was, I haven't seen Baby Yoda in action. So
it's cute, but it's a MacGuffin.
Sliced bread. I mean, okay, fine. I don't know. I make fun of Baby Yoda just because, I haven't seen it. But I honestly don't think it would have been enough to sustain me. And I've asked people in the know, a mutual friend of ours, if I should, knowing me, if I should watch it. And they said, probably not, because they stopped watching it about 4 episodes in and wish they'd have stopped sooner. So,
yeah, I don't think you'll like it. I don't think it's your cup of tea.
I don't think I'll hate it. I think I'll just be like, why am I spending time watching this when I could rewatch Banshee or, Expanse or season 2 of the Orville again, for God's sakes.
That's right. Goddamn right. Goddamn right. The one thing, the final word I want to say on Doctor Who, because like I honestly, it's the best example of the consequences of sacrificing your main character on the altar of agenda. God damn it, I put the wrong one up. I need to put up the one in the Chrome tab. My bad. So, and what I mean is, people are used to the female doctor here, but what they did is it's the same as they changed Spider-Man into a girl, they changed Batman into a girl, they changed Luke Skywalker into a girl. And listen, the whole Time Lords it's canon and blah, blah, blah. You know what? You can now that we have force healing, you can have force transitioning. Somebody can come, Yoda can come up and grow some boobs on Luke, and he could be Luca. So like you could put anything into canon. You can make a Scarlet Witch can say men are women, women are men. Boom, it's done. You can make anything canon. And while it probably could make a little more sense with Doctor Who, it doesn't work. It just flat out doesn't work. It becomes a completely different show. Like I said before it started, and now that we're just starting the second season, and this is what you get. This is what you're going to get. This was just done as a gimmick, and a gimmick doesn't last that long. And you know what? Same could be said for Baby Yoda. That's a gimmick right now, and we'll see if they actually do something with the character, which they might. But with this, it is clear they just wanted to change the Doctor into a female and not write her like a female or anything, because they would talk about these costume issues they would have, unless she's constantly got a perception filter, which I heard is like, that's ridiculous. It just doesn't work. It flat out doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for a very large portion of the audience. These new fans they have are casuals, and they're gone. So, and then you have men writing a female lead like a man, and then they can't write any of the females with complexity because they're scared to do it, or because they were told to write. I guarantee you these two characters, the concept of putting them in this episode came before the plot. That we're going to wrap the plot around the agenda, just like with Watchmen. So that you cease being a creative writer at that point. When you have checklists and rules and you're self-censoring as a creative, this, Doomcock, you're not a creative writer anymore. You are the type of writer who writes the instructions on a box of toothpicks, or the instructions on a pack of batteries or something. That's it. That's the kind of writer you are. I mean, there's more creativity in writing a story on the back of a cereal box than this. You come in with restrictions, and it's terrible. It's bad for creativity, and it comes off as bland. And that's what this one did. Those two historic females it was over the top affirmation over and over again. It just becomes an after school special. It's tired. It's boring, and it just gets boring. And even the people who support you get bored of this shit, because there's no complexity to it. So there, and then you just killed the franchise over it. So goodbye, Doctor Who. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw Fat Freddy's cat in the chat was saying, how can Doomcock be critical of the Mandalorian when he hasn't seen it?
You saw the first episode.
I don't know if they were saying that people were saying I was being too critical. All I'm being critical of is the first episode. And yeah, I am. I think it was mediocre, and I was bored. And I don't think there was anything really interesting or original in it other than a guy getting chopped in half by the door. I guess, okay. That was in the start. And, landing on the ice and having the monster coming. I knew the monster wasn't going to get him. I wasn't excited. It just was truly, honestly mediocre. But I can't speak to the rest of the series, and I'm not. So just to let you guys know, to clarify that, I'm not speaking about the whole series, merely that the first episode was so lackluster that I couldn't work up the will to watch the rest.
I agree. And I was warned that if you see it again, you're going to start seeing flaws. And I'm like, I don't know. And I thought Jeremy had a theory, and I thought he might have been right, that I'm going to watch this as a binge and possibly review it. And I'm not going to review it now. I've watched it the second time, and it's the slow episodes still feel slow. The logic and the scenarios they get in are ridiculous. They're utterly ridiculous. You have one bad guy, like, have them completely, they're trapped. There's no way they could get out of it. He goes, and he's got the upper hand in negotiation completely. And he goes, I'll come back in a few hours to allow you enough time to escape. I mean, for negotiation. I mean, it was just, I thought Austin Powers was going to come out and Dr. Evil. It was that ridiculous. And anytime there's a weighty moment, humor comes in. It's very Ragnarok in that sense, especially there are a couple of really, really good episodes. There's Bill Burr is awesome in it. There's potential. So it could get better. It could get a lot better. Sure. But I think it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's easily the best thing Disney Star Wars has produced, but I don't want to get,
I don't know. Is it better? Is it better than Rogue One? I thought Rogue One actually was pretty good. I mean, I had problems with some of it. It was uneven, but I thought Rogue One.
I like it better than Rogue One.
Okay.
I do. Just because the Jyn Erso knocking out stormtroopers in their armor with their bare hands doesn't work for me at all.
Sure, but I mean, Krennic and you know,
good stuff in it. I mean, that's the second best thing it's produced.
The robot, I really like
Alan Tudyk. Yep.
And also Donnie Yu, the blind force user, force sensitive, whatever. I really liked those characters. I did.
Yeah, it was good. I think The Mandalorian's a little better. I like Jon Favreau because of the 3 good, really, really good episodes, which all the series could have been, is these 3 episodes, and it would have been great. It kind of fell off at the end for me.
Can you talk? Should I just skip ahead and just to those good episodes?
Actually, yeah. If you watch episode, well, you got to watch the first 3, and honestly, if you watch the first 3 and the last 2, you're fine.
Okay.
You can skip the middle. The middle drags. It does feel like it was the repurposed James Mangold Boba Fett script. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I know a lot of people like it, but I don't want to get anybody's head, but I think we have lowered our expectations for Star Wars to a level where it should not be. But maybe that's where it is for Disney Star Wars.
That's where it is, man. It's no coming back now.
And now it is something for kids in a way. You know, I've never saw it like that. I've seen it the same way I saw Doctor Who, for the whole family, for everybody. And there's a way to do that. And it is a complex form of writing to keep all ages and age groups in mind. And it's very difficult to do, but when you do it, it's really good. Russell T Davies did it. Raiders of the Lost Ark did it. Star Wars did it. E.T. did it. There's a lot of ways. Poltergeist. I mean, I wouldn't say little kids, but, and this was close, but it just was boring for short episodes. I should not be bored and fast forwarding through stuff. And that's just my opinion. And go watch it on the second time. Yeah. Through, there's a Sanctuary, which is the Next Generation episode where they teach the natives to fight back against an aggressor. That one was just a terrible episode. It's just not good. And so on the second viewing, it's really, really bad. The acting is not really. Carl Weathers is not at his best in this. In one episode, it's better, and the directing is a bit uneven. But it's a first season of television, and the first season of Buffy's not exactly. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's not well made. Okay, so I can understand that. So it can definitely get better. And maybe they just wanted to play it safe the first season because listen, we need to bring everything. We need to get back to the basics, remove the identity politics, which they did, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah,
but
Sir Retznam in the chat said something that I thought was kind of brilliant, and I think hit it on the head for me anyway. He said Lee Van Cleef as the Mandalorian, and right there, that would have made that show excellent, because I think my problem with the Mandalorian, at least in the first episode, is I just got a sense of him as basically being kind of a, neutral kind of a action guy. I would have much preferred a straight up mercenary that is actually kind of badass and exudes a real sense of danger, like Lee Van Cleef did. I mean, anytime you saw Lee Van Cleef could be reading the newspaper with that face.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
no, he's generic action man. Generic
I never got it. In the first episode, he's just kind of going around.
He's kind of a dumbass.
And I'm kind of a nice guy for a Mandalorian, and it's
he is.
He's
a sweetheart.
I want a guy that's like kind of dangerous, kind of like Boba Fett. It was mysterious and has moral ambiguity.
Yeah, I mean he's really dumb with the baby, which I guess that's okay, but he gets his ass handed to him by like Jawas, and it's supposed to be funny, but that takes away from the badassness of the character. But they could improve on that. It's such a blank slate. You get a little bit of characterization towards the end, and it doesn't answer a lot of questions, which isn't terrible for the first season, but I don't know. It's not enough to bring me back to, I've never been on board with Disney Star Wars. Okay. But it's not enough to bring me back to Star Wars and get me buying Mandalorian action figures and buying this on Blu-ray. And I like that. No, we're nowhere close to that, because this is a side quest. This is a side quest to an overall story that sucks now. Like it or not, it is canon that Luke Skywalker is a coward who gave up, admitted it in The Rise of Skywalker, and was a stepping stone for Rey. So that's your big, and this is a prequel to that story. This is a prequel to that story. We haven't moved ahead 1,000 years or even moved back. And even if you move back, we know the end. We know the end sucks. Yeah. So that ruins it for me. This world is ruined for me because of that. So,
it is. You're right.
I can't. I got better things to do.
No, I know. I mean, there's too much great stuff out there to watch. I mean, hell, there's whole realms of stuff that I'm just investigating, like anime. Dayhawk 666 has sent me a whole bunch of DVDs from Korean television, and there's a whole world of great stuff out there. Why waste time on mediocrity just because it has a brand name on it? Now, I don't hate The Mandalorian. I mean, I'm definitely not saying it sucks. I'm not making fun of anyone for liking it, as I do with Star Trek Discovery people, because let's face it, if you like Star Trek Discovery, there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry. It's just, you're cognitively challenged. You work for CBS, maybe. You were dropped on your head as a kid. I don't know what it is, but it's something. If you like Star Trek Discovery, there's a problem. Okay. I'm sorry, but there's not a problem with you if you like The Mandalorian, except maybe you've just been beaten down a little bit in your life and you're desperate for, some Star Wars. And I don't blame anybody for that at all.
No, not at all.
It's not a suck show, but it's like mediocrity to me is a crime. And I just, I didn't slam it. I didn't insult it. I didn't hate on it, but goddamn, I don't have time to watch it,
Yeah, I could, if you are, what I said in my reviews is I'm watching it kind of objectively because I'm not a Star Wars fan anymore. And I could go, yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, I can see you liking this. But I can't, after all the work I've done on my channel, I can't say I recommend you go and get Disney Plus and spend your money. That's hard. That's a hard thing for me to say right now until I see bigger changes. Maybe if Kathleen Kennedy's gone and Jon Favreau's in charge and Michelle Rejoin, it doesn't matter. I don't care who's running Star Wars as long as they know Star Wars and as long as they treat the fans with respect, then we can move forward. Disney's not going to get rid of Star Wars. I understand that. That's not my goal, was not to give Star Wars to the people. That'd be nice, but it's not going to happen. So in reality, like if this is them turning the page, that's a positive. It's a positive thing. And I think this is because of the fandom menace of the fan. I've said it before. If we sat on our hands and didn't say anything, these changes would not have been made. We would still be getting a Boba Fett movie and an Obi-Wan movie. But these are just prequels in a shitty story now. I don't care about, you know what? It's nice to see Ewan McGregor back. I thought he did a great job in the prequels in very bad circumstances. He's the only one who tried. But old Ben is just looking over a kid who's going to grow up and quit on his family and die of an overdose on the Force. So why do I care?
Right. Exactly. Because you understand the rudiments of time. The time passes. The time moves forward. And when you go back in time, but the kid that you're protecting turns out to be nothing, it kind of ruins the story, doesn't it?
It does. That story I obsessed about when I was a kid, thought about all the time. I mean, the prequels did not ruin it for me. The prequels, while I wasn't in love with them, it didn't ruin my love for Star Wars. I still like Star Wars. The original trilogy was still untouched to me. It was still pure, but it's not anymore. They trampled all over it. They pissed all over it. They crapped all over it, and they destroyed two of the best characters in science fiction history. And they marginalized one of the best female characters in science fiction history, Princess Leia. Yes, they marginalized Princess Leia. Her just what they did, her screen time, and what they did with her in the Disney trilogy, while giving her way too much reverence, but no personality. She was just great because everybody was saying she was great, and it was really nothing, and it sucks. And I think that kind of, was disrespectful, especially the rise, her showing up in The Fall of Skywalker and dying of a Force overdose was completely disrespectful to the spirit of Carrie Fisher, in my opinion. I thought it was shameful.
Oh God, yes, absolutely. I hated it.
Yeah, and what I hear over and over in my chat, and listen, there's going to be people who want to just keep liking Star Wars, and like you said, I'm not. Go ahead. I mean, if you want to do that, go ahead. But I see in the chat over and over again, and I'm right there with you. I'm not ready to say it's okay, and I don't know if I ever will be, and that's fine. I can move on. I could just chronicle Star Wars's demise. I'm just waiting for Kathleen Kennedy to move on. And maybe the drama dies down and they just start making homogenous, boring, TV shows and homogenized, boring TV shows. And that's probably the best we're going to get, and then there's many other things I can cover. And right now we got Picard coming up. We got Doctor Who right now, and I just watched The Witcher and enjoyed the hell out of it, and that's great. Mm-hmm. But where we go from here is not even. I don't know if it's a place I even care about anymore. I just don't. I'm finding it hard to muster it up until I see articles like this. Hang on, we can bring up because you tweeted about this yesterday. I saw your tweet. I think I liked it.
Oh yes.
Man, we got to talk about this. And then we're going to talk about Terry Gilliam a little later because he's a goddamn
Terry
legend.
Gilliam, my hero.
Freaking hero.
One of the greatest movies ever made, without a doubt. And in fact, Time Bandits, Brazil, and Baron Munchausen are kind of a trilogy. And all three of those movies are absolutely outstanding. But I have to say, Brazil is a masterpiece.
Brazil is a masterpiece. Probably his finest film.
I think so.
It's not the one I enjoy the most, but it's like technically, storytelling wise, visually, all-time classic, one of the top 50 movies ever made, period.
I agree. And Time Bandits is fantastic. Bayern Munchausen is great, and they all go together very, very well.
They do. I love Baron von Munchausen and Time Bandits. I adore those films, and I like Fisher King too. Big fan of the Fisher King. And the guy's amazing. The guy's a brilliant filmmaker, and he said something wonderful that we're going to get to. But this article made the rounds yesterday, and it's obvious that the CBR needs to pay the bills, so they needed to poke the fandom menace. And sure, I'll oblige. Don't go. You don't have to go there. We can go over a little bit of this logic. It's the same old.
I know, and I'm mad at myself. When something like this happens, I just get enraged.
Yeah.
And I should probably just screen cap and attach an image, but then I'll just do the link, which is stupid. I apologize. I'm just angry. I'm just so angry. And, I screw up.
Okay. No, dude, it's fine. We get angry. I wrote like 5 tweets until I realized like I'm right now and I delete them. What I do is I write these tweet threads and I'm like, oh, fuck, I might as well do a video now. So I'm just going to do a video. But I thought we should talk about it too, because I could just see the editor. The editor's like, oh shit, I want to be able to flush the toilet on Monday. We need an article poking at the fans, mix in Russian bots, sexism, racism, Kelly Marie Tran. And just mention that. Maybe YouTubers if you want. You don't want to mention them specifically, and give me 500 words minimum, so we can at least have the water bill paid in the it's the end of the month. So there are many legitimate reasons for not liking the recent Star Wars sequel trilogy. How you feel about a story is a matter of taste. The story franchise has existed. The Star Wars franchise has existed for more than 40 years. Okay, this is no new information, and it means different things to different people.
No shit.
Really? Yeah, that's what I heard. Therefore, Freddie Prinze Jr. knows. We should ask him.
Oh, sure.
Dog.
It's for kids, right?
For kids. Therefore, any new installment is virtually guaranteed to face criticism because it's impossible to please everyone.
So was it impossible to please everyone with Star Wars and Empire?
I don't think so.
Well, it was impossible to please everyone, but that's not really the point, is it? That's setting up like a straw man argument to dismiss legitimate criticism. It's possible to please enough people. Okay. It is. Sorry. So everything in your opening paragraph is worthless.
Yep. Agreed. Where Star Wars fans run into problems, however, is their extreme reactions to the new films. I'm going to continue because so why do you exist, CBR? Why does Comic Book Resources exist? I want you to think about that, Dusty. Fans lash out not because the movies didn't suit their personal taste, but because it offended their sense of identity. Oh, here we go again. Also mention that they don't see themselves as the hero and they have a problem with identifying with women and stuff. From review bombing. Oh, yeah. Mention that too. To outright hate speech. The negativity swirling around Star Wars isn't coming from objectively bad filmmaking. Really? I think it is.
I disagree. Of course, as an objectively bad article writer, I guess you wouldn't really know that.
This is true. It's coming from the fans themselves. The majority of Star Wars fans have long agreed the original trilogy is excellent. Wow. Breaking news, everyone.
Wow.
Breaking news. Since then, there have been prequels, sequels, and spin-offs. While a significant portion of the audience finds common ground in the view that the prequels, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith are disappointing, there are many fans who love them. However, both...
This is just filler. This is like Timmy has a report due on Monday, and so Timmy is saying, and furthermore, taken on the whole with the preponderance of all the evidence, taking into account pros and cons. How many words is that? Okay, let's go on.
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So he gives us background that fans like different things. Some fans like the prequels, some fans don't. And there's online forums frequented primarily by other fans in our modern age. However, everyone is connected and can instantly share their opinions in the world.
This is pointless.
When looking at many of the criticisms of the sequel trilogy, a lot of unrest centers around what a fan thought or hoped would happen. Following the 2015 release of The Force Awakens, theorized a number of unresolved storylines like Kylo Ren, Rey. Then people didn't like The Last Jedi. It was the most divisive film in Star Wars history. Did you know that? The Rise of Skywalker was similarly met with backlash, albeit largely from a different corner of fandom. Those upset that Rey and Kylo's arc didn't culminate in romance, while Ben Solo found redemption or Ben-demption.
Oh, you fucking piece of shit. I'm sorry. Who told this idiot they could write? I don't know. Go ahead.
And he probably took that from somebody on Twitter. Just like in virtually any fandom, when like-minded Star Wars devotees gather to share theories, likes and dislikes, it can create an echo chamber in which what the fuck is the access media? How is this different from the Screen Rant article from 2 weeks ago and the Forbes article from yesterday and the Mary Sue article? Well, they're always different. I got to say, the Mary Sue does take a really asinine look at the world. Buoyed by a sense of entitlement. Oh, God, it's been so long since I heard we were entitled, Doomcock. That one made a comeback.
Oh, gosh. A sense of entitlement. Well, you know what? I am entitled, asshole. I am. I'm the customer. The customer pays for the product. Therefore, the customer is entitled to the product. And the customer is entitled to a product that will satisfy them. And when a customer's product does not satisfy them, they are entitled to complain about it. That's why stores have return desks and complaint departments and complaint forums, because actual retail understands that sometimes the customer is not satisfied and they want to keep you as a customer. And so they allow you to bring things back and they allow you to complain. And they apologize in any sane business relationship. But here, this is the only business I know of where the response of the company is to go F yourself. That is their complaint department. They say, well, here's your form, sir. And you look on the form, it says F you. You toxic, entitled man baby. How dare you not like the product that blew up in your face and ruined your dreams? Fuck you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's and they wonder why the box office numbers are going down, and they still honestly wonder about that. And they've hired firms to go figure that out. And Doomcock just told you why right there.
That's why.
That is why.
Right there.
You've been beating the fans over the head. You've been alienating half of your fan base for a long time now, and we're just done. We're done. So you can baby Yoda the fuck out of anything you want. There's a portion of the fandom that's never coming back. Ever. Right. And good for them. There's a point where you got to just say effing no. Right. Sports ball reference, the owner of the sports ball team, the Chargers, kept going back to the city and wanting them to build a stadium. They finally said fucking no. And no, go to LA. Bye-bye. And that's it. You can't do this shit anymore.
And speaking of sports ball, I would just like to say, Jerry Jones, I know you're out there. I know you're listening to the Inquisition, Jerry. And since you are listening to the Inquisition, I just want to say, tough luck. Sorry, back to you.
No, that's good.
I love Jerry Jones being unhappy. I love it. I love it. Jason Garrett's not the problem, pal. But never mind. Go ahead.
No. Uche had some pretty good takes on him on Twitter. Go check him out. Uche from Geeks and Gamers. My son is in the sports ball. Maybe he should get on Sports Wars with Jeremy. My son knows his shit with football. I taught him, but okay. Heck, before The Force Awakens was even released, actor Jonathan Boyega drew racist criticism because of his character. Finn was a black stormtrooper. Now, with the release of The Rise of Skywalker, he's at the center of a social firestorm for a joke about Finn laying the pipe with Rey following Kylo's death. That's somebody being human and funny. You robotic moron. The whole point of this, folks, we're going to only read a little bit more, is the access media has been the problem. They have been at the center of the problem from the very beginning. And as the franchise owners made their decisions, they're responsible, but the access media had been driving this narrative for years before this fan backlash, before the fandom menace rose up and other consumer movements rose up. It was the access media stoking the flames. They have ceased to serve their purpose. They are mad right now because they feel betrayed by their corporate overlords. And he speaks about entitlement because he speaks from a place of knowledge, because that's the same entitlement that these access media shill hacks feel when they get their free passes to the movies or their 5 minutes with an actor who's going to forget about them. That's the entitlement they feel, and they feel a little spurned. You know, they were good little soldiers. They worked their asses off being little shills, and they see the Fall of Skywalker as fan service to us, which is hilariously wrong in every sense.
Oh, I know. It's like I wasn't serviced. I wasn't serviced.
No.
Where's my happy ending? I didn't get a happy ending.
No. we didn't get any
in either sense.
No, not really. There was no lube involved at all. It was a rough landing. We're just going to say, okay. And yeah, they're the problem. They are the problem. They are the reason YouTube blew up. They're the reason I'm here. I couldn't read. I used to go to CBR and actually get my comic book news, man. Those were the days, weren't they? And now I started going to YouTube because I couldn't stand these people anymore. And I would rather listen to a guy in his car. Hey, everyone, you know, that was the guy, you know, and they're dead. They are. And you think they would wake up to this, but it's almost like this article was auto-generated. You know, it's like not written, but like an AI made this. And didn't they oh my God, was it Facebook or somebody working on AI news? And that's what this feels like. There's a strong undercurrent of racism and sexism at the heart of these attacks, for sure. For some, the original Star Wars movies were about mostly white men doing amazing things. To have women or black men in lead roles challenges their notions of what Star Wars is. So let's go back to that. People having a problem about the black stormtrooper. No, there were calls of racism because why does a stormtrooper have to be black? That's what the criticism was. And what did they do with this black stormtrooper? They made him a janitor. We didn't make that decision.
No, that was not us. That was not us. Well, it's the same thing with Mikey Spock. Mikey Spock is a African American female icon, but she's also a hateful bitch that nobody can stand. Did they do African American women any favor with Mikey Spock? I would argue, no, they did not. I don't think they did a favor for black ladies at all. No. In fact, I think it hurt them. And I don't know. It's almost like when they get a character like that and they actively make them obnoxious, is that racism on their part? I mean, are they like doing this on the surface, something very, forward and positive, but are they really closet racists that are doing their best to alienate people of color by saying, oh, you wanted people of color and diversity in this entertainment? Well, here's your diversity. I mean, honestly, racists could not have done a worse job than what they've done, because they've taken somebody, a role that could have been groundbreaking and made them an obnoxious pig. Is that helpful?
Yeah. Who was responsible for that? Alex Kurtzman. Alex Kurtzman is not a talented writer. A talented writer can make you believe that they have a worldly experience, like they have been everywhere. And you know what? Some writers actually do that. They travel, study people for research, and some people just have the gift. Some people just have the gift to be able to write something polar opposite of themselves. That's not the case. There's too much, the talent, quote unquote, is watered down in Hollywood. But Alex Kurtzman is one of the worst writers in Hollywood. He made one of the worst movies ever in The Mummy, but he's yet running Star Trek. And yeah, he can't write a black female. He can't write a white male. So, there you go. I can't write a dog. He can't write a carrot in a refrigerator. I mean, that's it.
I think he can't write.
He can't write.
Period.
No. I wouldn't even, people have said he can't even write a grocery list. Somebody should write an Alex Kurtzman grocery list. That'd be pretty funny. Oh
dear. Oh dear.
One could argue that those fans are simply voicing their opinion of a character or screenplay. One could argue that, Doomcock. One could argue that we're just talking about the movie. That argument is void. That argument is void.
Oh,
however,
it's void.
Once a racial slur or sexist comment is uttered. Okay. I agree with that. Where are they? Where are they?
Actually, I don't agree with that because the argument is the argument. It is stands on its own merits. It doesn't matter whether or not a racial slur or sexist comment is uttered in conjunction with it or not. I mean, I could say, Jesus is Lord, and then N-word, and that doesn't mean Jesus isn't Lord. I mean, it means I'm a jerk if I said an N-word in conjunction with that, but it has no bearing on the factual content of the preceding statement. You see what I'm saying? It's a logical fallacy.
Yes, agreed. And here's the other lie about this. What this person is clearly talking about are YouTube channels and bigger Twitter channels. But what they're conflating is the troll accounts that come in and that's largely from the other side to try to make the other side look bad. But yeah, they exist. They all exist, but they're anonymous troll accounts with no followers, and they disappear. They're farts in the wind. They're not part of this argument. So and this is why you never see examples of this. So great. You say the argument is void. However, once a racial slur or sexist comment is uttered, and I could say the same every time racism, sexism is accused. Every time you make this accusation towards this straw man that you've never given an example of, but what you mean, you definitely mean us. That's what you mean is us. Yet you can't find a single example of this. Listen, there's hours of live streams, videos. Go do your research. Go find it, Junior. Go freaking find it.
That's
from
right.
Any Fandom Menace channel, large or small, or up and coming or large. That's it. You're not going to find it.
Agree.
That's it, dog.
That's right. I mean, they are so lazy. They're so full of shit. Find us the Instagrams where Kelly Marie Tran got driven off by them. Yeah, I'd love that. Go ahead. Find them. Dig them up.
The only thing I've ever seen is a comment section. Again, it's a comment section. I could give you examples in my comment sections all day long of people saying stuff about my kids and my wife. I don't, you know what? But it's anonymous people. Again, fart in the wind. It's not meaningless. So your argument is bullshit right now, and we just hear the same things over and over again because you got nothing, and you're losing this battle badly. And instead of, I don't know, changing your ways and out of survival, you would just rather be right. And that's been our point all along. And that's the biggest problem with political correctness and wokeness. It isn't about being effective. It's about being right. That's all. Was Harrison Ford abused for agreeing to be in a movie where his character was killed off and he failed to save his son? Was Luke Skywalker accused of being a Mary Sue when he was able to project himself across the galaxy and fight Kylo Ren? No, it was stupid. All that was stupid. Are you trying to again, conflate these arguments from the Disney trilogy? Are you going to try to say that because we're calling Rey a Mary Sue, we should call Luke? Luke wasn't a Mary Sue. Luke was an asshole.
Actually, Jake was an asshole.
Luke was an asshole. Yeah.
Luke is not Luke. Oh man.
And I'm almost done here, and we'll get to the super chats, folks. Sorry. We had kind of a long opening here, but I haven't talked to Doomcock in a while, and kind of on a roll here.
Catch up on.
Yes. Loving Star Wars is not a bad thing. Being disappointed when your thing that you love changes into something else is understandable. It's natural to feel some dissonance when a constant in your life suddenly shifts. Well, Star Wars has not been a constant in my life. It's not. It's been around, but it's not been constantly the big franchise. It might feel that way to some of the younglings out there, but there were a couple times where Star Wars was around, but it wasn't that relevant. At the end of the day, however, fans don't control who is cast in a movie. The story the writer decides to tell, or how we feel about it. The only thing we can control is our actions. Deciding to act in a way that shames someone, threatens somebody's safety, or harms them in any way is unacceptable. These space fantasies about aliens and robots and magic didn't force any fan to disrespect others. The fan made that choice. The individual person made that choice to blame an entire fandom again on what? Please give me. It's when I talk about something in my videos, I try to throw up the article I'm talking about all the time. If I'm referring to an article, I will pop it up on the screen. I will give you guys an example. I never, ever see this from these people. Where is it? I'm sure it exists somewhere. I'm sure if it's so goddamn easy to find, dude, screen cap it, put it up. Let's go. Even those anonymous fart in the wind Twitter accounts, something. I never see that. Then he tells us 1977 Star Wars. For a long time, women and people of color didn't get to see themselves as a part of that world. Now they could sit in a theater, look up on the screen, and see themselves as a part of that world. Yeah, and shitty movies. Sorry. I'm sorry to those people. You deserve better. You really do. But see, the problem is they just went about to show that's all you went about to do instead of telling a good story, which disrespects all of this. That's what we've been saying. You want to, okay, make a first female doctor. Well, then you better like go there. You better talk about her being a female, and they haven't. They just wrote her as a male. That's not respectful. You're not moving anything forward. Like I said in my last video, Doctor Who, the doctor being female now has freed women everywhere. Doomcock, did you know women can vote now? They can get jobs now because the doctor's female.
I find that highly offensive, sir. Highly offensive.
Yes, sir. So
women with suffrage will only cause suffering.
They really needed to pay their bills. They really needed to pay their bills. That was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever read.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Oh God, do I even want to do a video on that? There's another article popped up that might be better. I am doing a Doctor Who video, but I don't know if I'm going to continue. We're going to have to see how it does. We're going to have to see how much interest is in the show because people move on eventually. And that's another lesson Star Wars needs to learn. Now that we're at the end of this, and listen, there's still some fallout from the fall of Skywalker for sure. But it's not going to be like The Last Jedi because there's no other movie to go to. I mean, as far as Luke Skywalker is concerned, who was the epicenter of this discussion with The Last Jedi, for a lot of people, that's said and done. Now we could pick it apart. We can do the autopsies and stuff, but I mean, the story's over. It's kind of sad.
Yep.
Scott Hudson for $5. Would you have imagined that Rogue One would gross as much as Star Wars Episode 9 and net hundreds of millions of dollars more? No, I would not have imagined that. But our friend Odin reported earlier today that right now, as far as adjusting for inflation, the box office numbers for The Fall of Skywalker are going to be very similar to Rogue One. Yikes. Yikes. Wow. I am the biggest Star Wars fan and I have ever met. I never saw The Fall of Skywalker and never plan to. And you know what? I don't feel I missed out on anything. Deef, for 5 Canadian pesos, you're much better off. You are much better. It's pure for you. And if I had done that, I might have felt similar. Like I just didn't see these things and I didn't care. Unfortunately, I did see them though, and I can't unsee them. Doomcock.
No.
How has it affected your view of the original trilogy?
It's hard to say, honestly. I don't really take it seriously. But it has knee-jerk diminished my enthusiasm for Star Wars as a whole. But I don't look at it as in any way actually related to the original trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think I'll be able to watch the original trilogy and still enjoy it perfectly fine and just set it aside. And actually, in a way, it's greatly increased my appreciation for the prequel trilogy. So, I mean, I think that's done me a favor there. to some extent. But I hate this garbage, and it's worthless. It's genuinely worthless. And all I can tell you guys out there is that this is fan fiction made by people who aren't fans. So it's actually the worst kind of fan fiction. And there's just no way that this stuff is canon. It's not. None of it.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, I still have the original trilogy. I've got my VHSs of the before the special editions that I can always somehow watch. But for me, the story, because I saw it right now today, story's ruined. That could change in time. I could just forget about this, and I think, this trilogy will not have like a Goonies effect. When for my generation, the generation right after mine, millennials, they really like the Goonies, and I just never understood that. I saw the Goonies as a teenager. I thought it was terrible. And I still kind of do. But there's a whole generation of kids that love that movie, just love the Goonies, and same for the prequels. There are bits of the prequels that are enjoyable. The Emperor is enjoyable. Ewan McGregor is good. Revenge of the Sith has a great novelization. I would.
Oh, really?
I would. Oh my God, it's good.
Never read it.
Yeah, it provides. You get into Anakin's head, and they flesh out the spying on Palpatine that the Jedi asked him to do, and you really see the mental struggle that Anakin has. And they also do something that George kind of failed miserably in the film. Sorry, Palpatine was his dad, was the father figure he had always been looking for, the only person to really treat him like a parent. Obi-Wan was always a little distant as his trainer, and Palpatine became his father figure. He genuinely cared about him. Now, for Sith reasons, but there was still a genuine caring that he had. At least that's the impression you got in the book. And for me, it worked. I was like, and you kind of see Yoda as a dick, and the Jedi Council is a bunch of dicks asking him to spy on this guy. And he's like, wait a minute, like, this guy's been nothing but nice to me. And they're like, well, we suspect he's up to something. So he's torn. You see him being torn instead of that big flip in the film, and it really works for me. It does. I think it's very, very good. But there's still good things in it, and the Disney Star Wars trilogy had no plan, no plot, and I don't care about it. I just don't care. It's so forgettable. I don't think it'll have in 10 years, people won't be longing for this. Oh, remember Rey and Kylo?
I don't think so. The kids aren't going to see. I mean, they don't care about this stuff.
No. Kids are into YouTube. They're into anime. My kids really, he's on a Dragon Ball Z kick right now. My Hero Academia, he's in that. He loves both of those things. So yeah, that's what kids are liking now. I like I said, I go to the junior high to pick them up. I don't see anything Star Wars or Star Trek. I don't see kids wearing any shirts or anything. Marvel stuff everywhere. So that's what owns it, and it's overshadowed by Marvel now. Who would have thunk? Okay, so thank you, Deef Casey Ozowski for $5. I used to love James Bond and Doctor Who, but thanks to Spyfall, I hate them both now. Thank you. I gotta thank, it's believe it or not, it was the Doctor Who video that the Doctor Who video and about an hour of my last video that pushed me over 200K. So I'm thankful for that. And man, it's been fun. This year's been great, dude. It sucks watching this stuff. I wish it was over better circumstances, though. I really do. But damn.
Yeah.
I mean, you grew like crazy. And I guess that bothered a lot of people, Doomcock, your success. That's too bad.
Think so?
Yeah. You think they would get, inspired. You don't have to like everything we say. I don't care, but I don't know, when I see somebody successful at something, my go-to isn't to attack that person, even if I don't agree with them. I just kind of, well, how'd they do that? It's kind of curious, and I'm happy for them. I like watching people succeed. I think it's fun.
Absolutely. I'm really happy that you've succeeded and gotten so big, and the Inquisition is doing very well, and it's just going great.
Yeah. I mean, and you flip the logic. Okay. You see people, if I see people successful, I think, well, maybe I could do it. Maybe not, but maybe I can't. But if you also see the people attacking the people who are successful, it's like, well, maybe I'll be the one getting attacked, or, I don't want to be the one attacking though. I know that I don't want to be that person. Jolton Burrow for $10. Hail Gary and Lord Doomcock. About Doctor Who, Yaz reminds me of Bill, the walking LGBT sign in season 10. Both so terribly written and directed. You can tell if the actress has any talent. You can tell. Talent can show even in bad writing. Sacha Dhawan is a talented actor. You can tell, the guy who played the Master. Like he's a talented actor. And he's going to get a lot of work, and he's got future's bright for that kid. I saw that in the awful Iron Fist. He played Davos, but he was still good. He has range, that thing called range, which each actor needs, but very few have. Justin Doyle for £10. Help me, Inquisition. You're my only hope. So sad I have to ask this question. I have not watched The Fall of Skywalker. I never will. What happens to R2, and does he get a hero's death? I'm guessing not.
Nothing happens. Yeah, he's just blown off. The last droid we see is Beach Ball 8. So
yeah. And remember, the entire saga was supposed to be seen through the eyes of R2D2 and C3PO. It should have ended with them, and it did not. No. Which shows that Jar Jar doesn't understand narratives or doesn't care. He doesn't care. Either one is bad. Cornelius Brunies for $6. Do you think Apple TV streaming shows are worth it? They have the money. Just finished binge watching The Boys and The Expanse. It was pretty good. I have Apple TV for free, and I have no desire to see any of those shows. Do you?
You've got Apple TV for free?
I did. I got a little free thing for a month because I bought a Mac.
I don't even know how to get the damn Apple TV, and it's a big problem. But yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything really about the shows other than For All Mankind, which people were saying was, I don't know. I mean, they said it was woke. Well, it's not really just woke if they just have women going to the moon. If they change history like that, if there's a valid, narrative reason. But if there's not, then yeah, it's garbage. So I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, the Jason Momoa one, I didn't like the concept. I know some people did. Yeah, none of it excited me. I did like the fact that they went original. They got some talent and they tried to tell original stories, but then those stories just look so bland to me. There's so much good out there. And, right now I'm on a big old Witcher kick. I saw The Witcher the first time. I was like 3 or 4 episodes in. I'm like, this thing's going to be a woke piece of shit. And I've never been turned around like this, like flipped. It took me a little while with The Boys too, but for different reasons. But The Witcher and The Expanse are by far the 2 best things I've seen this year with Umbrella Academy. So there is good out there. And like people putting the dirt on Netflix, I wouldn't do that. Now that I've experienced Disney Plus, it's a really bland streaming service that doesn't have much to offer. And now that The Mandalorian's done, I mean, it's got nothing. And they're screwed because you're going to have a PG-13 streaming service. Is there anything more boring than that? And as nerddom gets older, genre is generally being enjoyed by older people now. You want to be more sophisticated. PG-13 maybe, a soft R, a soft rated R.
Yeah, that's lame as hell.
No, The Boys was excellent. The Boys was excellent. The guy from Banshee was the best part. What's that actor's name? I forgot his name. Guy who's played
Anthony Starr.
Yeah. Mrs. Nerdrotic got me into Banshee. That was a good show, dude.
It is a great show. One of my favorites. And
it had the guy who was one of my favorite characters in Counterpart. Another show that should still be around, but is not, unfortunately. Sam Whiskey for $4.99. Hail Gary and DC. Disney cannibalized Sleeping Beauty when Kylo woke up Rey from her eternal slumber. Oh, they did. In one of those many reshoots. By the way, I do want to bring this up. One of those many reshoots in one of those multiple endings, my friend, feeling a little vindicated.
I am. Hashtag Doomcock was right.
Yep.
All of those scumbag lying shills have to eat it, have to suck it, because every day in every way I'm being more and more vindicated. So screw you. I win.
And I'm sure you heard about the leaks. And listen, this is obviously a Jar Jar person went on Reddit and spilled some beans that may or may not be true. We don't know for sure. And we've all done videos on it, but I mean, and it's clear it's somebody from Jar Jar Abrams camp. Well, they almost come out and say it. They say they have the agenda to protect JJ's reputation. Did I just say reputation and JJ in the same sentence? I'm sorry. I almost choked.
I know
on
that's kind of sick and twisted.
Listen, I dislike JJ. Just to reset this, I just dislike Jar Jar for what he did to Star Trek behind the scenes, what still is happening to Star Trek behind the scenes, what he did to Star Wars, and what he's done to Hollywood. And I understand they even made kind of a response to this Reddit leak, and they said he's just a little peon compared to Disney. And I understand that, but he's not. I don't see him as a little peon. Jar Jar's got a lot of influence. He's anointed by Spielberg. That's not a peon.
That's right. Damn right. I mean, it's Spielberg is responsible for this mess. And, I think it really taints his legacy, honestly.
Remember when Spielberg, as the Golden Globes, I don't know if they're still on and I don't care. Remember when Spielberg wouldn't win any awards? He was the outcast back in the day. I don't know if you remember that, but like he would not,
right.
He wouldn't, Spielberg films wouldn't win awards except for technical awards. Because they weren't considered real film back in the day. He was not allowed in the club.
Right.
And then he became one of them, which was so disappointing.
He did. Well, he sold out. I mean, he was making great movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And of course, E.T., which is a masterpiece. And then he wanted to go for Oscar, and he wanted to be Mr. Important and Mr. Relevant. So he does suck up movies like The Color Purple, and he does Schindler's List, and he's trying to do all these things to gain Oscars, basically to gain Oscars. He was on a mission from God to gain an Oscar, and he gave up all of his like genre aspirations. I mean, he does them every once in a while. Of course, he still did Jurassic Park, but in general, that was the problem. He sold his soul to the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences. And never, his genre movies were never as good again.
No, you're absolutely right. It's like he instantly lost it. And he's still a talented filmmaker. Don't get me wrong, but it felt like, God, the neighborhood scenes in E.T., that where the kids are riding their bikes around and stuff. I mean, that was drawn right out of my life. Like that's, especially in Southern California, that was being built up. So it was like half built suburbia, and there was vacant lots where we can ride our BMX bikes and stuff. I mean, that was our reality back then. It's like he was there. And he lost that sense. I blame Kate Capshaw. Kate Capshaw is the Yoko Ono of film. When she came around in Temple of Doom, he changed. That's when everything changed.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think that she, I don't know. You think she was like the Lady Macbeth behind the scenes? Do you think that she, kind of spurred him on? Why don't you become an Oscar-winning director, darling?
Yep,
shit like that.
Just give in to them. Give in to them. You don't need to make any more genre films. I mean, the last good genre film he made, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Because then Hook came out after that.
Whew. That was garbage. Jurassic Park is good, but I think the script, I think it's more interesting as a
and I'm only going on what I've heard on that.
Yeah, like
I have not seen it. So
you've not seen Jurassic Park?
I have not seen Jurassic Park.
Oh wow. No, it's not a great script. I mean, the character development and the story is not there. I mean, really, it's like the theme park itself. Jurassic Park is you get to go and you get to see dinosaurs, and you get some good moments with Jeff Goldblum and stuff like that. But I mean, it's pretty wafer thin in terms of characterization and stuff like that.
It's not true blue Spielberg. I mean,
No,
what's your favorite? What do you think is his best directed movie? It might be different than your favorite, but
I think Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think it was just pure cinematic genius, and he shot it in an accelerated schedule. He had doing it after 1941, and it had a bad taste in his mouth, and he the way he put it in a Rolling Stone article around the time it first came out was he said he wanted to blow the saliva out of his mouthpiece, and just get on with it. And so really, he did his best work unfettered by expectations or he was just trying to kind of kick ass and go for it, and also beat back the schedule. They even had a schedule. He beat that schedule and came in under budget on Raiders. He had his own personal schedule.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's weird. That's so cool.
He beat it and he came in like days under schedule. That's awesome. And that was his personal, because I think he wanted to send a message to Hollywood or whatever that he wasn't always going to be going over budget and causing this big, kind of disaster that 1941 was. And it was his best work. Honestly, it was fantastic.
I don't hate 1941, by the way. I know a lot of people do.
I don't hate it. It's just
it's not that great.
Yeah.
My second favorite Spielberg movie is Close Encounters. I love Close Encounters. It's just that movie. I don't know why I love that movie, but it's not even the effects are amazing, but it's just the whole all the family stuff, the little small moments in that movie are freaking. But it has the best beginning, and it's straight out of like Charles Berlitz's Bermuda Triangle. With that opening music, that John Williams piece that's just boom, and then they start in the desert. I love that shit. It
is, but my other one would be E.T. E.T. is a movie I can't hardly get through without getting choked up. It's so perfect. I love E.T. a lot. I love Close Encounters, of course. I mean, it's a great movie, great soundtrack, dude.
Yeah, it's the only one he wrote. I mean, unless he did one recently, but yeah, he wrote that movie. Yeah, great soundtrack. Oh my God. John Williams is a genius. I'm going to go back up here. Oh, by the way, I'm going to have to return to Coachella, Doomcock. Freaking Danny Elfman is going to play there, and apparently he's bringing Oingo Boingo with him. It says Danny Elfman right now, but it's going to have Steve Bartek and Johnny Vatos, and I don't know if it's going to have Ribs and Hatch. I probably not original members like that, but if you get Steve Bartek there, which is the guitar player. By the way, if you're a Battlestar Galactica fan, you will know that Bear McCreary used, for one, the original soundtrack from the miniseries was done by Ribs, who was the keyboardist for Oingo Boingo. Then he left. Bear McCreary came in for the regular series, and his engineer was Steve Bartek, who was the guitar player for Oingo Boingo. So these are all like Danny Elfman proteges and stuff. Danny Elfman soundtracks are cool. Some of them are quite good, but his Oingo Boingo music, especially the early stuff, is some of my favorite music of all time. Some of the best new wave ever. Oingo Boingo is a hugely popular band in San Diego. So, and they said they would never get back together again. And then, I heard the Coachella lineup. I only bring it up because it was trending higher than World War III for a couple of days there, which was pretty funny. But I said, I'm not going back. I'm too old for Coachella. I don't want to be the 50-year-old idiot running around there. And then she's like, Danny Elfman's going. I'm like, get the tickets. We're going. We're going.
Have you ever heard the farewell tour Universal Amphitheater concert that Oingo Boingo recorded? It's a double CD, and man, their version of Dead Man's Party on that. I can't listen to the original. I can't listen to any other. It was just, it was, boy, that thing. I mean, it's just driving. It is.
No, I was at the show before that. So they played San Diego before that at San Diego State University, at the open air amphitheater. And
so you heard how they sounded.
I heard it.
On that track. It's just,
oh, dude, that album is amazing. That their farewell, that's the best farewell concert of all time by any band ever. They were tight. It's almost like they were leading up to that moment, because they had broken up a couple times, got rid of the horn section, brought the horn section back, and they were so effing tight. Oh my God. Even their last album was good, like really good. It was dark, but it was good. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Fuck, so good. Sorry, went off on, but you know what?
The Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo and
Mystic Knights. Ooh, if he'll play some of that, that would be nice. All right, so let's get back here. Jolton Burrow, Justin Doyle, Cornelius, Sam Whiskey, Psycho Dwarf 9. Says, Gary, congratulations on 2,000. Thank you. I know what you mean. On 200,000. Thank you, Psycho Dwarf 9. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $2. It's good to see you here, my friend. Sam Whiskey for $4.99. Hey guys, not all Skywalkers are gone. We still got Agatha Skywalker, who works at the chocolate factory, and she'll save the day in the next trilogy. Maybe. Maybe it'll be directed by Ryan Johnson, and Agatha will be played by Jamie Lee Curtis. Popper, is it Popper Lives 34 links? Popper Live.
I think it's, I don't know.
Gives me a little, it's either a cat or a fox. I'm pretty sure it's a cat saying we're number one. Thank you very much for the $2. You're number one. You're number one. We have the White Wolf here. The White Wolf. Which White Wolf are you? Are you the White Wolf of Rivia, or are you the weird White Wolf, Elric? I want to know. Hail Gary, Doomcock. The BBC is a joke in my UK. Have to pay by law for a TV license of £120, which funds BBC directly and the forced agenda woke news. That is disgusting. They really need to get rid of that. How can you even justify that? You have people in council houses. Do you charge them that much too?
Yeah, everybody
has to pay that. Rich or poor, you got to pay that.
Yep,
that's some bullshit. That is some bullshit.
Well, if you have a TV, I think.
Yeah. Otherwise, you got to say you don't have a TV.
Right, but then they might detect it.
And they have vans. They had vans that were detected. I mean, that is so
right. On the young ones, it's like, well, you know, you've got a tele. Yes. We detected it.
Oh my God. I went down a young one's rabbit hole the other day. I didn't realize they had a female writer, and she was pretty cute too.
Oh yeah, she was. She's
very,
I mean, cute. It was Rick was a writer on it. Lise was, and then Ben Elton, I believe. I think it was the three of them created something revolutionary. I mean, it was up there with Monty Python, in my opinion, is groundbreaking British comedy. I mean, it was a response to the Thatcher regime, which was pretty severe in the UK, and it kind of fired up all the creatives as a response against it, and it was a fertile ground for comedy.
It was punk rock comedy. It was nonsensical, and Rick and Neil were, but Vivian was my favorite, obviously.
Oh yes.
Vivian was absolutely my favorite. Raymond K. Hessel for $5. Here's for not shutting up about The Expanse so much. I finally binged it and my head nearly imploded. Hashtag Solomon Epstein killed himself accidentally. That is a good one. That is a good one. That is true. He did not mean to kill himself. The Epstein drive. Yes, that is funny as hell. Read the short story. It's good. Thacio, $4.99. They think they can't create original female hero protagonists, so we get Miss Bond, Miss Manhattan, Rey Skywalker, the Feminator, Miss Doctor Who, Batwoman. Exactly.
Right.
They can't. They think they can't. But you know what? We can. Ellen Ripley. Well, formerly Sarah Connor until they screwed her up. Buffy Summers. You know, there's a lot out there.
Mm-hmm.
Protologism. I'm saying this wrong. Protologism. Sorry. Protologism. Protologism. Like protomolecule, except jism. Somebody whisper to Disney and Hollywood that characterization and caricaturization aren't synonyms. Gary, your big, beautiful grown man hands turn me on. Grown man hands. These grown man hands, they're not that big, but I'm glad they turn you on. Thank you, protologism. But yes, characterization and caricaturization aren't synonyms, but they're synonyms. I can't talk. Fizenthorpe for $20. I wouldn't mind a man or a woman as a lead. What's so tiring, frustrating is they make every movie, TV show, and TV commercial a battle of the sexes. We all know who wins. How about a cooperative adventure for a change? Yes. Oh, everybody's battling. I'm so fucking tired of it. Problem being for £1.99. Doomcock, when will you get Gary into Blake 7? I have it. I just don't have time to watch it.
Right. You don't have time to watch it. It's a great show. I love it. You know, it was, groundbreaking for its time. And I still love it. I'm actually working my way through the series again as well. But it takes time. So you can't do it all at once.
I will tell you when I'll watch it. I'll give you this time frame because I'm going to kind of take a little time off from the channel as far as videos are concerned when I go to Contact in the Desert. And I think that's in June. So when I'm down in my little Airbnb down there, I will watch it before I go. I'll watch a couple episodes before I go to the show. And then we can talk about it on the live streams. Dan Cogan for £4.99. Hello, Gary and Lord Doomcock. The top 2 TV shows of the year, according to the Audio Video Club, were Fleabag and Watchmen. Wokety wokeness.
Yep.
And, yep. That's the Audio Video Club. I mean,
right. They're full of shit.
Isn't that Gizmodo? Isn't that a Gizmodo owned?
Think so. Sounds
website?
about right. Yeah. I don't know. They're full of crap.
Yeah, they are. No, top 2 shows of the year. I mean, it's debatable. I'll say 4. I like The Boys. I like The Expanse. I like The Witcher, and I like Umbrella Academy. Go watch them all. They're all good. Where was I?
I would say Patriot. 2 seasons of that. It was very, very good. It was unique show. Also, Mr. In Between is quite good. I would recommend that as
Somebody asked about that in the super chats. I'm wondering if it's the one.
Yeah, it's good.
Hang on.
I really like it.
I missed that one because I know they mentioned it.
It's a weird show, but it's very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and Animal Kingdom. Really great show on TNT. Great crime show.
That must have been later. But Fizenthorpe, you're right. Thank you, Dan Cogan, for $4.99. Yeah, those are not the top 2 shows. I haven't seen Fleabag, so I can't say anything about it.
I haven't either.
But we saw Watchmen, not the top show.
I think the chick on it is hot, but isn't she the one that's destroying
Bond?
Yeah. So I mean, I can't
Waller.
Can't watch it.
Yeah,
it's tainted goods for me.
Eric K for $4.99. Everyone is talking about the JJ cut. Remember, it is made by him. It will not appear better, just longer and more nonsensical. Yes. While I fully credit my good friend Jeremy Griggs and Mary Mayhem and Lethal Lightning, I forgot who else was on that live stream, for getting that hashtag going. I think that's brilliant that one of our friends got a hashtag trending on Twitter. I think that is great. And it's partially to be a provocateur. It isn't to actually give a shit about the JJ cut. It's more like, let's give Disney some shit. But Eric K, I agree. JJ cut would just be more shit. More shit. Doomcock, do you think the JJ cut has Luke Skywalker being resurrected and fighting a dark Sith Lord that's not Palpatine?
No,
I don't think so either. Yeah.
No, I don't. But I have heard that other cuts kind of did. So, but not the JJ cut. No. I look, the JJ cut will be marginally more coherent, but it will also probably the explanations that it adds will outrage, perplex, and annoy. So, it's going to be 6 of one, half a dozen of another. It's certainly not going to be worth seeing again. I'll tell you that. I mean, if they'd have led with the damn thing, it would have been just a hair better, but not saved by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, I think they're going to be forced to doing a director's cut with the Star Wars film at this point. They're going to, for one, this is probably the most expensive Star Wars film ever made. It's not going to do as well as The Last Jedi. They're going to need to recoup losses. And listen, they did it with Batman versus Superman. For Christ's sake, the Lord of the Rings films were all cut down for theatrical releases. Those were all really good versions, and then they came out with better versions later, and they just made more money. And now that's strictly what most people, including yours truly, watch. So why not do a director's cut? I mean, just because it's Star Wars, you guys have tainted the Star Wars brand. You did flashbacks in the stupid movie, and they suck. Directors cut the fuck out of it. Go ahead. And yeah, I really, but we've already read it. Doomcock has provided more context in his videos than they did in the film. And these are from his sources and the Reddit leaks as well. And you saw the context. What's her name was supposed to be Lando's daughter. So what? It's 5 seconds of going, you're my daughter. Oh, wow. That's it. It's not like JJ Jar Jar lets a scene resonate for you so you could feel an emotion. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
None of that shit's going to happen. It's going to, it's just going to be longer shit. But according to you and your source, there is a completely different version of that film out there, supposedly, right? With like that's now, and maybe that's why they had it. They had Marion Brandon. I did a video on this. She had to cut scenes on set.
Really?
They were filming. How could you get that far behind unless you were reshooting the shit out of that movie?
Of course they were. Absolutely. I mean, it is a chain of logic. It is a simple chain of logic. How did they get so far behind unless they were doing massive reshoots? Which leads us to the next leap of logic in the chain. Well, why did they do reshoots like that? Why did they go to such an extent as to have those massive reshoots unless there were test screenings and they knew that they were in dire trouble? One thing leads to another. If you've got all the extensive reshoots that took you to the edge of disaster in terms of your release schedule, it's because you had many changes that were constantly being done. Why would they do that? They wouldn't simply say, this morning I woke up and I don't feel good about what I did. I better redo it. No, they had people telling them they were in trouble.
Yep.
Just straight up. I mean, use logic and think about what what the premise is.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's just common sense. Okay. And listen, everybody's jury was out, even Doomcock's, until we saw the film. And then once I saw the film, I'm like, oh, there was a lot of reshoots. Yep. Now,
so painfully clear, and the stuff that was described in my account of the test screening that was so disastrous happened, where Palpatine was shooting lightning into the sky and hits the Resistance fleet. Well, my guy or gal knew that, so I tend to have credibility for their account of the test screening.
Yeah, and listen, it's obvious. It's obvious that the editing was, I don't mean to disrespect the editor. Okay. They didn't have much time to work with, and, but they took the job, they took a paycheck, and that's, you put yourself out there the same way I do with the video. It was horribly edited. It was made to just flash by you so fast you don't think about anything. Unfortunately, some of us still do. And now we're seeing it fizzle out. And, for all the people out there who are like, oh, it's hitting $1 billion. I mean, like, you're grasping at straws. This is an utter failure. This is the end of the Skywalker saga. This is supposed to be one of the highest grossing films of all time, without adjusting for inflation, not the lowest performing trilogy sequel of all time. So.
Well, tough shit. That's what you get when you abuse the fans and you have no respect for Star Wars or yourselves.
Yeah. Think about how much better this movie. Okay, it's still shit. It still sucks, but you don't attack the fans.
Right.
There would have been big difference. Big difference. That's the consequences. That's why you don't perform possibly as well as The Last Jedi or possibly Rogue One. And yeah, I'm just glad not as many people are going, because it restores my faith in humanity. For some people still have some taste. Some.
Thank God.
Yep. Uncle Gary, have you read Hickman's House of X for 20 Mexican dollars? Baptist 702. I have not purchased a new Marvel comic book in almost a year, and I refuse to. I'm really turned off by Marvel. I haven't really talked about this much, but I just saw the treatment customers were getting from Marvel repurposers and hacks. I saw Mark Waid get involved with an individual and try to keep him from getting his comic book printed in stores, a comic book about a G.I. Joe super elite team trying to save a giant gorilla. Nothing more serious than that. And it completely turned me off to something I have been in love with since I was 5 years old. Marvel Comics.
Wade is a real piece of shit from what I've heard.
Yeah. It's disgusting. So no, I didn't want to give any of those people money. I felt dirty. I remember picking up my last stack of books. The comic shop I was shopping at was outside of Tesla in San Rafael, and I didn't come in for 1 week, and they canceled my saver, which was all right. And I went, fine. I thought that was a good time to stop. My subscriber book. Yeah. So I was gone for like 1 week, and they bugged out, and I'm like, yeah, okay. That's probably why the shop is pretty empty. But I usually gave people about a month and a half, and then I would start calling them. I wouldn't cancel their subscriber account, but that's the way it goes. And it was good. I ended up saving me a bunch of money, and I don't miss it. I'll pick up a book here and there, but honestly, Cyberfrog is, which I haven't read yet, is going to be the first comic I've read in a month. And I'm reading old stuff right now. Elric, old stuff I wasn't into when I was younger. So,
right.
Yeah.
Elric is good. I like the books.
Dude,
I haven't read the comics or anything.
The art is sick. It's so good.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah. Cracklin for $4.99. Mando was very sensitive and understanding with the Sand People, but mercilessly killed the crap out of dozens of Jawas for stealing his crap. Yeah.
Really?
That did happen like that. It did.
Killed a bunch of Jawas?
Killed a bunch of Jawas dead.
Boy. Huh.
I just happen to have
that doesn't say badass to me. That says dick.
It says
Yeah.
Yeah.
little Jawas. Come on. That's what they do.
Yeah, you just try to negotiate. That's what he did. Trying to get a good example of. I like the colors in this, but yeah, here's some Elric art. It's very 80s, and I love it.
Is that Craig?
That's
Craig
not the
Russell?
P. Craig Russell one.
Yeah.
The P. Craig Russell one is.
Yeah, he was great. I love P. Craig Russell. He did some good work on the Killraven series and Amazing Adventures, actually.
Yeah. P. Craig, stuff like this. Yeah. Good shit.
Yeah. Because that other looked like his stuff.
Yeah, that was him too.
It was. Okay.
And some French artist did Ruby Throne through Titans Comics. That is badass. That is so good. Really? And Moorcock signed off on it and stuff. Nice. Yeah, I watched a Razor Fist video and he recommended this stuff and I bought it all and it was cheap. It was really cheap and it's oh my god, it's good.
Nice.
It's good stuff. Okay, back off the side tangent there. Dixon Ciders here, Doomcock for $5. This stream is so much better than the Woken Globes. By the way, Gary, what is the name of the weight loss powder you mentioned in the live stream? I don't know. My sponsor hasn't gotten back to me. Soon as I find out, I will let you guys know. It's a liver cleanse, and it's something you gotta go to a doctor, and they prescribe you this stuff. But it's not like super medicated or anything. And you have to follow these instructions to a T, and you have to do at least 30 minutes of cardio every day, but you'll lose 50 pounds in a month. I did. I was smoking cigarettes at the time too.
Wow. That's
and I still, when that might have helped, but I was up to 235. I went for a physical because I was getting close to 50 at the time. This was 3.5 years ago. And I went in and my doctor said, you're obese, and he's all, and he's trying to be nice about it. He's like, lose like 5 or 10 pounds, drink some more water, cut down on, blah, blah, blah. And I freaked out because I'd never been that big ever. And there's nothing wrong with being that big. It's not a judgment. This is just a personal decision for me. I was already smoking and I was getting old. I'm like, well, I can't be like overweight and smoking and all. I can't do this. I got a kid who might, need me the rest of my life. So I need to turn shit around. And I had just gotten sober and I was more concentrating on being sober. So he's like, I can help you with this. And my sponsor was a men's health doctor. And he prescribed me this thing and I could call him at any time. He gave me a little instruction thing. So the first 3 days I just made this shake, right? And it tasted okay. It was very chalky. I had to drink it twice a day. No, 3 times a day. Sorry, 3 times a day. And that's all I could, for the first day, that's all I could have. That and glasses of water, nothing else. Second day, I could start mixing in black coffee. And this is what sold me. He said, you can drink as much black coffee as you want after the second day, like as much as you want. I'm like, okay. So I'm super obsessive. I went from 2 to like 8 or 9 in a day.
Oh my God.
But I was drinking the shit out of coffee. And for the first 3 days, I didn't eat anything, did this liver cleanse. It's gone. And then I immediately dropped 10 pounds, like in 3 days. I was like, whoa. And once you see something working, it fires you up. But that's natural. Guys can do that. Guys can drop water weight like that. Mm-hmm. But mentally, it's amazing. So you keep doing it. Then I started eating. There was no sugars, salts, or bread or anything. So it's basically meat and lettuce and kale and crap like that with balsamic vinegar. Did that for a couple weeks. Then you could start introducing more and more stuff, but I was hardcore. I just didn't have any sugar or salt or bread for a month and it's gone. It was gone. Nice. Yeah. And no sodas or anything. You can't have anything like that. Just drink tons of water and it worked. It works. So yeah, once I find out, I'll let you guys know. I felt, for one, just to do the liver cleanse. This is really exciting talking, but that makes you feel so much better just to do that. Yeah, that was the part I couldn't believe. Like after I did the cleanse, I was like, whoa, I feel like more awake. I need to do that then. Yeah. Probably. Oh, it's good for the system. Yeah.
If you could let me know, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, no problem. I'll pass it on to everybody. I'll get the information tomorrow. I've been texting him, but I haven't heard back.
By the way, Bill Stelzer in the chat talked about Michael T. Gilbert being P. Craig Russell's inker. And Michael T. Gilbert is remarkable to me for Mr. Monster, which I've got, I think, all of the Mr. Monster stuff that I could find. Love Mr. Monster.
Mr. Monster.
A lot of fun.
This isn't Russell here. Hang on. Let's go to
Michael T. Gilbert. Really,
there he is. Michael T. Gilbert, Roy Thomas, Michael T. Gilbert, Pete Craig Russell, and George Freeman, who might have been the letterer. I don't know. But like that's art. They don't do shit like this anymore.
I know it. Oh, they do the simplified bullshit, kind of, half-assed Donald Duck, kind of stuff. I mean, even superhero comics have shitty art on them.
No, like they don't put in backgrounds and stuff. I mean, that's the one thing I'll credit Ethan for. If you look at Ethan's Cyberfrog book, it's his best work. It's pretty insane, and you can tell that he had plenty of time to do stuff like this. That's all the difference when my buddy Derek, as opposed to being under time constraints with the boys, and he went off and did Ballistic. Holy shit, that was his best work. That was Derek Robertson. Amazing stuff that looked like Jeff Darrow. Jeff Darrow's the shit. I just had the name right there. Shaolin Cowboy by Jeff Darrow is an amazing comic book. Look it up, people. Shaolin Cowboy, Dark Horse reprinted. It used to be. So Burly Man Comics was the Wachowskis' comic company, and they did Doc Frankenstein. They did 2 titles, Doc Frankenstein and Shaolin Cowboy. Great comic books.
I'll check it out.
Yep. All right. Gary Bickler died for your sins watching Dr. Womb, and Epstein died because George Lucas told him what McClunky means. McClunky. That's that's the added in phrase for Greedo. Yeah, stupid. Adam W for $2. Congrats on 200K. I was here since 25,000. Awesome, Adam. That's a while ago. That was last year.
That is
last year.
MK Solid 82 says, if only Gary was wearing pants and Doomcock was fully clothed for this stream. I am fully clothed. I'm completely clothed for this stream. I don't know. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing jeans, underwear, socks even. So I am completely fully clothed. I don't know what difference that makes, but I just wanted to let you know so you can smile. He had a little frowny face on that comment.
Oh, don't be frown. Yeah, I'm not wearing pants.
Oh, I'm fully clothed.
Not wearing pants.
Yeah, not even wearing shorts. I'm not wearing. I'm wearing the whole shebang.
Cause I'm free balling. No, I'm actually wearing shorts. So,
well, there
you go. Ryan,
dude. So there you go.
SoCal, bro. I wear shorts unless it's like 30 degrees. 20 pounds from Ryan. Just suffered through Fall of Skywalker. It was like having your gums scraped. What else is on Abrams' hit list of cherished stories he's going to desecrate? The DC universe. Nothing much. Just the DC, just Superman, Batman. Maybe he won't get to Superman, Doomcock, because they can't think of any Superman stories.
Oh, dude. He's already got one he wrote.
I know.
There's no hope. There's no hope. He's just going to dust that sucker off and put it right into production, and it's going to suck. And I will spread my
badly.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's depressing.
I know it's I mean, he's going to really hose. But it serves them right, those idiots. What the F were they thinking? Warner Brothers, you idiots.
$500 million.
Path of Righteousness with Joker, and now are worse.
They got to be rethinking stuff, though. They have to be.
Well,
and maybe that's why Jar Jar Abrams people are trying to spin this, because they paid him money, but I guess they can keep him from doing anything, because they could save all their money by letting Todd Phillips use the Todd Phillips approach.
Oh God, yes. He should be the only one making movies over there. Yeah. I mean, just come on, man. Jesus, how much does he have to prove himself? This should be the model in the future. Give talented people a small amount of money and turn them loose. And you may have like 5 failures, but then the one success, the next one, will pay for all of those like a dozen times over. Instead of this bullshit with all these blockbusters, do something with a $50 million budget like Joker and give it to, and hell, give it to some new filmmakers. Not, there was a whole wave of filmmakers in the 70s of Scorsese and De Palma and Lucas and Coppola, Spielberg. I mean, the guy that did Nashville, and Robert Towne and all of these guys, and you got great work. Cimino, I mean, before he went insane, it was a time of great dreams, great aspirations, as Khan would say, and it was a pool that resulted in movies like Apocalypse Now and The Godfather and Dressed to Kill from De Palma and the one that followed up after that. I mean, a lot of great cinema came out of that kind of gestation, and you've got to gestate talent. And otherwise you've got these hacks and these morons, and Jar Jar Abrams is making everything. And by making like a baby does, makes in their diaper. Well, yeah. Jar Jar makes on everything. And it's time to bring in some new people, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, because right now we got Rian Johnson. He's looked at as an auteur. It's like,
oh my come on, God. Jesus. Whoever would say that is an idiot.
Moron. Protolog.
Robert Altman. Thank you, Chris Burbank. You're quite right.
Protologism. Someone Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. Me. Oh, wait. Someone Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. Me. Amazing. Every word of what you said was wrong. For five Chilean. Is that Chilean pesos? Thank you. Yes. Jay Mitzer has become a member at the protomolecule level. Welcome. The work must continue. Techno Babbler for $5. I've been rewatching Community recently. The Doctor Who convention episode is very prophetic. It's called Conventions of Space and Time. Worth a watch. I'll watch it. I've never seen Community.
Really? I can't believe that. Community was really, really good. There was a season, I think it was season 3 or 4, where Harmon was fired. And so they had, people come in and take over for him. And those episodes, they're not unwatchable, but they are substandard. And then finally they brought him back for the final season, and it got good again. It's a lot of really good episodes on there. Funny, great characters. I recommend it entirely. I mean, that show is kind of like what Simon Pegg used to be. Like before he sold his soul to the corporations, he was one of us. He made Spaced. Community is like Spaced to a large extent.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I don't know, man. I don't like his act outside in the real world, but he is kind of a genius. And I've watched a little Rick and Morty. But
I'm telling you, Community is really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, Rick and Morty, I mean, it's kind of like, look, you can't, like Joss Whedon, I mean, now you can say, well, Joss Whedon, I don't like him and, all this stuff. But I mean, he did Firefly. So
he was a genius for his time. Buffy, right. Angel, Firefly, all great things that I will never take away from the jack off that Joss Whedon has become, or was always probably. But yeah, I got it. I'd check it out. Yeah, for sure. Especially the Doctor Who episode. Yeah.
It's really good. And check out the comic relief Doctor Who episode with Rowan Atkinson as
Curse of the Fatal Death. I've seen that.
It's the best. Yeah. No, I'm just telling the chat. I know you have. But
yeah.
I can't recommend it highly enough. Rowan Atkinson would have made a fantastic Doctor. Fantastic Doctor.
Written by Stephen Moffat. That's actually written by Stephen Moffat. Tippy Tail McKitty for $2. I bet you $5 Doomcock knows who Townes Van Zandt is.
Townes Van Zandt. I think he's a writer, isn't he?
That is. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I think he's a writer.
Townes Van Zandt is an American singer-songwriter. John Townes Van Zandt, was an American singer-songwriter. He wrote numerous songs such as Poncho and Lefty, For the Sake of the Song,
right?
Temescula Valley, Rex's Blues, To Live is to Fly, and widely considered a masterpiece. He died in 1997. He died. Yeah, I only remember this guy from him dying. I remember when he died and everybody's saying this really genius songwriter died, and then I never.
Right. And isn't he the brother of Stephen Van Zandt, in Bruce Springsteen's band, and also one of the cast of the Sopranos?
I don't know. I'm going to look right now.
I think so. Van Zandt, I thought they were brothers.
Townes Van Zandt.
I mean, I might be wrong, but that's always what I thought.
Died in Tennessee. Music singer, songwriter. It's not saying who his birth name was. John Townes Van Zandt. Yeah.
Well, I thought so. Somebody in the chat will know probably.
Yeah. Cardiac arrhythmia. Yeah, I remember when he died. I that's all I remember though. Is like somebody, this singer dies young or something. I don't know how young he actually was, but yeah, I remember that. I don't know what context that's in, but Bill killed Capaldi's series and started the PC slide. The PC slide started with Clara. Get it together now for $5. Bill killed it. Yeah. But the PC slide started with Clara in season, actually after the 50th anniversary, that's when shit changed.
Unrelated, says Donnie Pearson to Steve. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Donnie, excuse me.
They changed Clara as a character from what she was supposed to be. Because I have the Doctor Who magazine. It's right under this desk that says Clara is going to be a flirty computer hacker. And she turned into a insufferable nanny.
Yeah.
So, and a teacher. And then they changed her every year. And then she became the Impossible Girl, which they had to write last minute because they really thought Eccleston was going to show up and he didn't. And which, I mean, everything changed about it. I kind of feel bad for Moffat, and they stuck the landing with the 50th anniversary episode. And listen, at least they got one off. Star Trek, I think, made a Barbie doll for 50th anniversary. They had a 50th anniversary Star Trek Barbie doll. That's about the only thing I can fucking think of that they did.
Yeah, it's Clara was the line for me. Clara was when I stopped watching Doctor Who. I just could not stand it anymore. I couldn't stand her. She made me sick. I to this day I think I hate her more than any other character, even the female Doctor now. I just despise Clara. I can't stand her.
Destiny Captain for $1.99. Gary and Overlord DVD. Who mourns for Morn? Morn's mom. I don't know.
Well, the problem is that Morn has broken, or is that Morning is broken? Sorry, I got confused.
Morning. It's all right.
Morn was always broken, though. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, Doctor Who's broken. Star Trek's broken. Everything's fucking broken. My heart is broken. Stargate 404 for $5. Ricky Gervais ripped Hollywood tonight. You both must watch. He mentions politics in Hollywood and even name drops guy with creepy private island. Yeah, I saw a bunch of people sharing that on Twitter. I will check it out.
Will it be like, or we'll be able to pull it up on demand or something? Do you think?
I can see if somebody tweeted at me. Somebody tweeted it at me
somewhere because
I think Anna tweeted about it.
Generally get archived, do they? I don't know.
Yeah, I think Anna tweeted about it. Hang on. Yeah, the thing is, on Sunday I don't have time to do anything. I haven't even done my Patreon live stream today. Probably not going to get it done. Yeah, I make videos for Monday, which are probably not going to come out. And now that I have Doctor Who, and yeah, it's just Sunday's this is There is no Ricky Gervais. Where did it go? I'm looking for it. Baby Yoda's the Joker. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I can't find it. If somebody can message me, DM me in Twitter, I can probably play it. But it'd be interesting to hear what he said. Yeah, and then we could play it right around Terry Gilliam's statements. Thank you, Stargate.
I got his entire opening speech, so I will forward that to you.
Right on. Right on. Toss a coin to your Doomrotic, a friend of humanity. That's right. Eddie sends. Toss a coin to your Witcher for sure. For sure. Yeah, I generally do not watch the award shows because they're usually crying about the Orange Man or crying about the Orange Man, and then they make horrific decisions with these award shows. So they just end up frustrating me, and then and it makes me really hate Hollywood. I think they're displays of listen, I'm not against rich. I'm really not. I'm very capitalist. I mean, go get your money. That's great. But I think they're kind of disgusting displays of circle jerkery too. So I'm just not into that.
Yeah.
Just not into that.
Well, I stopped watching way before there was any political motivation, just because they're full of shit. I mean, I disagreed with their awards, which were always political, and I couldn't deal with it.
Adam Wolford for $5. Hey guys, check out BattleTech Universe. It's like a Game of Thrones in space, no dragons or Walking Dead, but it has giant robots fighting each other. Yeah, Adam, you've told me about this a lot. What is it? Here, I'm gonna look now. He's like 3 super chats. He's told me this. BattleTech Universe. Is it a book by somebody or? It's BattleTech is a wargaming and military science fiction franchise launched by Faza Corporation in 1984, acquired by WizKids in 2001 and 2007, and owned since 2007 by Catalyst Game. Is it a game?
Huh.
Yeah, I've been like, thank you for the super chats and stuff. Like, I do not game. Gaming is. I'm going to play Witcher 3. I am. I promised I'm going to play Witcher 3 because I'm that into the fucking show that I want to play Witcher 3, but I don't. I like to make things and gaming. I'm just not good at gaming. I'm just not good. But thank you for the suggestion. Maybe if there's a book based on it or something like that, I'd check that out for sure. I would. Thank you, Adam, for sure. Protologism for $5. Hey, if you watch the film Annihilation, heard Gary say it looks woke because 5 female leads, but no, it's mind-bending, surreal, abstract, sci-fi art. I couldn't get through it. I thought it was boring and a little woke. I watched it. Yeah, I thought it was really, really. I just thought it was
Annihilation. You said?
Yeah, Annihilation. Yeah,
I don't know what it.
It's got Natalie Portman in it, and it's 5 female leads. Only women can go into this aspect, and it's just like I don't buy that shit. And I love surreal storytelling, but yeah, wasn't a big fan.
Okay.
But a lot of people liked it. Some nobody for $5. We should make a distinction that we're okay with ideological hacks making media. We just prefer they don't ruin things that we like with their ideology. Yes, you're right, some nobody. And I try to make that distinction often. I'm not telling people to not have politics. I'm not telling people to put the other side in. I don't want to see that either. I just want to see things done with a little more balance in mind, a little more neutrality, and a little more just natural storytelling. Because you can certainly get these messages across if you're talented. Alex Kurtzman can't do that. And this is all, again, bad reboot. The cinematic antichrist that we've discussed before, Jar Jar Abrams. Thank you, some nobody. Stargate 404. When a humble chat graced a ride-along with Nerdrotic and Doomcock, along came this song from when the fandoms fought a silver-tongued Kathleen. Her army of shills tossed a coin to your Nerdrotic and Doomcock Valley of Plenty. And I had to sing it like sorry, I didn't sing it like toss a coin to your Witcher, but I don't sing. But maybe when Doomcock sees it, he can sing Toss a Coin to Your Witcher, because I think he could.
Probably so.
Doomcock is a bit of a bard. Yeah, he could be a bard. Thank you, though, Stargate 44. You're awesome. Elliot Nelson for $10. Hail Gary and Doomcock. It's 2020 and we're standing in the burning husks of our destroyed franchises. It's an eerie feeling to watch the pillars of my childhood fall with nothing to replace them. You know what? It's kind of like adulthood, Elliot, you know, or when you get older and your parents die, or, you know, like mine, one of mine did. And you're just, life does not have a net. You learn that. Some people learn it later in life. Some people learn it early. And that's how we got to move forward. I am fully prepared to walk away from Star Wars forever and never give them a penny for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that decision now.
Yep. Pretty much.
It's not, it was agonizing. It was a bummer. It was a process, but now I am detached, completely detached. No going back to that one. Nicholas Horton for £5. Clone Wars season 7 premieres Friday 17th. At least they've got Ray Park to mocapture Darth Maul during the Maul versus Ahsoka duel in the finale, which I will not be watching. I just again, that's supporting Disney. You know, covering The Mandalorian is one thing for this channel. Clone Wars season 7. I never covered the show before. It's a cartoon. I hope you enjoy it. I want you guys to enjoy it. Have fun. I will not be watching because I canceled my Disney subscription. So some nobody for $2, but I mean, really enjoy it. I want you guys to have fun. That sounds kind of awesome, but not enough to bring me back. Some nobody for $2. We're at least entitled to bitch about bad product. Yes, we are. And Doomcock stated that rightly so. You see John Campia's video about Collider, asked Tim Riggs for $2. I saw his first one. I haven't seen the second one yet. I heard it was salty. Do you know what's going on with Collider there, Doomcock?
No, I haven't watched it. I mean, I don't generally follow him, so
yeah. So Collider, ladies and gentlemen, canceled all of their live shows. Basically, they canceled Jedi Council Heroes, everything else, because they weren't getting traction, because they're getting trounced by people, by just regular folks in their rooms surrounded by action figures. Doing live streams, and they're getting better numbers. Then they did those deep fake videos and they started getting millions of views, and that started paying the bills. And they're like, well, let's keep doing these. The problem is those things are Beanie Babies. They're a trend. And I've already, you know what? I don't watch them anymore. I watched the first one. I thought it was funny. I didn't think the second one was as funny. And the third one, I stopped watching halfway through. It wore off for me. And I guess they're going to keep doing deep fake stuff. And I would rather watch a human being talk about nerd stuff who's semi-entertaining, like a Doomcock live stream or something like that. Those things are entertaining. They're fun. And fortunately for Doomcock and I, they don't cost millions of dollars to make. Just a few bucks.
Right.
Yep. So that's what happened to Collider. They shut everything down. But they didn't give people a lot of notice before they fired them, which was kind of effed up, but that's life. I mean, that's anywhere. They don't give you notice before they fire you. Isn't it weird how you have to give 2-week notice before you quit a job, but they don't have to give you any notice when they fire you?
Yeah. Funny about that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe you just shouldn't worry about it, huh?
I generally don't. And I didn't with Tesla. With Tesla, I walked out. I think they still owe me money. I don't care. I don't ever want to go back there. I want to talk to them again. I'm done.
Yeah.
Dreary Nitpicker for $9.99. Hail DC and Gary. Congrats on 200K. I tried to watch Campia. I honestly tried. I don't know. He just got under my skin and shilly, very shilly. I'm sorry. He just came off fake as F. Love long time. Dreary Nitpicker, thank you. You don't have to apologize. I don't watch Campia for the same reason. Campia always, he comes off to me as a viewer, and I'll be real with you, he comes off a little smug and he talks about himself too much. When Robert Meyer Burnett is on the air, that is a good YouTuber. That is a person who can relate his point and with humility. Also, he's got a lot of knowledge, and I don't agree with him all the time, but Robert Meyer Burnett is a class act.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer to watch Robert. I think it's very smart for John to have him on the show because I don't get the appeal of John Campea, but a lot of people like him. He's a talented person. He's made history on YouTube. So I can't deny that. It's just not for me. We'll just say it's not for me. And I'm guessing I'm not for him. I doubt he even knows who I am. So, Stargate 404 for $5. How long do you think it will be before the critics start to give positive reviews of Witcher? Season two, like I that's what my Witcher video was about. It reminded me a lot of the Orville. I'm seeing the same things. There's nothing this show has to, that they see it. There's no Disney backing it or anything. There's nothing it has to offer the critics. So the critics are going to shit on it. Plus it's got a white male lead. So they're just going to automatically shit on it. And, they're going to automatically shit on a show run by a woman. And it also proves that all those gender swaps and stuff only work if you're Disney, and they don't really work if you're anything else. And they probably don't like The Witcher because they had to watch the whole fucking thing and they didn't. And if you watch the first 5 episodes, and that's all you do, you're going to be lost. And then they bitched about it. The main thing was they were resentful. They weren't given the whole show in advance. So they thought they would just murder it instead. I mean, they're useless. They're fucking useless. We got Doomcock. Okay, we got Critical Drinker. We got Mahler. We don't need these people anymore. They're irrelevant.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are nailing it here. We give you all the information that you need, and that's why the mainstream media is not very fond of us. That's my feeling.
Yep. Yeah. No, and like what Doomcock just said. He talked about the first episode of The Mandalorian he watched. He didn't make a judgment on the series. I've watched it now twice, and I probably have to watch it a third time. I try to watch things as many times as possible before I review them to show them the proper respect. Joker, I only need to see it. I only needed to see it twice to know I fucking loved it. And it was my favorite movie of the year, and it was goddamn brilliant. Witcher took time. Same with The Boys. The Expanse, nope. Once, I know it's brilliant after watching it once. I hope Disney suffers the same fate as Circuit City, going bankrupt and branching companies, Marvel and Lucasfilm, being operated independently. Says Apocrypha for $4.99. Yeah, me too.
Yep. Knock wood.
They're never getting rid of it though. I mean, they own it forever. That's it. It's done. And that's another reason why it's like, I don't like Disney that much. I don't. I like Disneyland. It's okay, but that's it. I'd rather, I don't know. I'm a Warner Brothers guy, I guess.
Oh, Mark, God, yeah. Warner Brothers was way, way better than Disney always was.
Yep.
And of course, now that's where Jar Jar is going. Imagine when Jar Jar Abrams gets a hold of the Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Oh, man, Jesus Christ.
I hate even thinking that, but yeah. I'm a villain, so I think evil thoughts.
Mark C for $5. What's up, Mark? I'm bringing another YouTube channel up for trial. The defendant is Collider. The verdict is guilty. The punishment, please unsubscribe. Now, I would never, ever, ever tell you to do that. That's not something I can ever do. That's Mark C, and he has every right to do it with the super chat or with in the chat without paying for anything. And I respect the hell out of Mark C. Collider, though, did really push that toxic fandom narrative. They pushed it to death, and they shilled fucking hard. And they are as responsible as anyone for the creation of the fandom medicine. They are once again reaping the consequences of what they have sown, like Disney Star Wars is. And you're starting to see results here. By the way, Disney Star Wars, the Skywalker saga is gone. And all of a sudden, Collider gets rid of all of its nerd shows right after that. Coincidence? It's almost like Toys R Us got killed by Star Wars 2, Doomcock.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And yeah. So on that sense, yeah, fuck Collider.
Yeah, I'm sick of all these fucking they don't have any sympathy for us. They simplify our arguments. They work actively with corporations to discredit us unjustly, levy ridiculous accusations against us. Yeah, to hell with them.
Yep. And there's you can make content on whatever you want. I'm not going to judge you. It's just I wouldn't recommend making content about other people. It just never works. Unless you're like Total Drama, whatever his name, Keemstar. But that's a whole different thing there. But yeah, coming out and saying you want to bring the fandom together and then attacking individual YouTubers, it's not a very solid argument. I'm just going to say. It's funny. It's funny. We're trying to bring people together, but this guy's an asshole. It's like, okay, all right.
This guy, I don't want to be brought together, though. I don't want to be part of it. Yeah.
That is what you call a drunk logic.
Yes.
Dreary nitpicker for $4.99. The fact that we are even having these debates and discussions with urinals shows how far urinalism integrity has fallen. It's pathetic. Hail DCG. Hail Dreary nitpicker.
Hail.
J25 for $5.55. Fart in the Wind is a lesser known Kansas song. Hail, it is. Fart in the wind. The Access Media is a fart in the wind. Psycho Dwarf 9 for $2. Snowflakes. My feels matter, yours don't. My feels matters, yours don't. Well, the snowflakes can get consumed by Mr. Snowflame right here because cocaine is his god and he is the instrument of its will. Stargate 404 for $5. I have an issue with the casting of Triss, Starfire, and Ariel. It has nothing to do with race. Like Doomcock, I simply have a weakness for redheads. Stargate 404, ginger side is a real thing, and we need to fight it. Right, Doomcock?
We do. Damn right. Damn right. I just find it very ironic that they care about minority rights, and redheads are one of the biggest minorities on the planet. I mean, in terms of being the smallest in terms of population. It's ridiculous.
It is, but no, all white people are alike. But that's not racist. Okay.
That's right. All white people are alike. Evil.
Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah.
That's what they think.
According to white people, for honestly enough, which is the weirdest reason. Disney Trilogy, corporate terrific, not fanfic. Corporate fic, not fanfic. Lady Gravemaster for $2. Corporate fic. Mm-hmm. I like that phrase. Corporate fic. Yes,
it is.
They can corporate fic off. Michael P for $5. Maybe the gift is better for modern mythology. Maybe this gift is better for modern mythology, cinema culture, and quality content that giving it to the cam model. Only time will tell, gentlemen. Thank you. The $5 rather than giving it to the cam model. Well, I mean, don't you think I'm kind of a cam model? A little bit.
A pretty girl is like a melody.
I'm like a got. Instead of a thought, a got. Get it? Yeah, Derek for $2. A show you should check out is Mr. In Between on FX. Yeah, I knew I saw this.
That's what I said. That's right.
I got it. Then I'll check it out. I got to listen to you guys. I listen to you guys. Darth Professor for $4.99. I'm going to concentrate on Star Wars fan films. There are so much better than the rubbish coming out. Fans know how to tell stories, unlike Jar Jar. Yeah, you might as well. They'll be better. But check out The Witcher. Check out The Expanse. Check out The Umbrella Academy, The Boys. Doomcock mentioned Patriot. Mr. In Between. Check out new stuff too. We need to support that when it's good.
Yeah, very.
You might not like The Witcher. It's not for everybody. A lot of people who played the game have come at me like, nope, can't do it. I'm like, all right, I got you. You know, I went in clean. I didn't play the game. I only read one book. I was okay. I didn't notice any changes. And honestly, Henry Cavill's pretty damn good. He's pretty damn good in it. But what also sold it was Anya Chalotra, who plays Yennefer, who I didn't think could play the role because I'd seen art of Yennefer before and she doesn't look anything like her. But her acting was good. She acted well. And it made up for things. And she was really good in the role. So I mean, she's still hot. I mean, come on. She's still really, really hot. And she's just young. That's the thing is like, I kind of, that's like, she should be going. I mean, because when you see him in interview, she looks older on screen, but when she sits down in an interview with Siri, it looks like somebody's about to take them to soccer practice and get their juice boxes and their orange slices or whatever. It's like, ugh. God bless Ricky Gervais. He ripped Hollywood a new hole at the Golden Globe, says Mark C. I thought I read that one.
Well, you've read something similar. I'm not sure if it was exactly that one.
That's true. I'll get to that in just a second. I got to get to a stopping point because it just fracking jumped on me. I'm on Expanse season 2 because of you guys, says Trooper Bear FN 2525. It's awesome to hear.
Excellent.
Holy
Great
crap.
show.
It stupid jumped on me. So I'll use this. You DM'd me? Did you DM me the Gervais thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I did.
Let's go check it out.
Absolutely. Hold on a sec. I'm stepping over here just a sec.
Do what you got to do.
I'm looking for something here.
All right. I'm going to fire this up, ladies and gentlemen. Turn my camera off. And here we go.
Okay, here I am.
Hit the audio. Okay, no problem. We are listening to Ricky Gervais. Don't copyright strike me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're gonna stop it right there. I'm probably getting in all kinds of trouble for that one, but what the fuck? I'm over 200,000 subs, so you know, if I get a strike, I'll just have to fucking deal with it. But that was funny. And you can watch the rest later. He fucking slayed them. Holy shit.
Not enough diversity in the dead people. So we're not gonna go ahead and read that. Yeah. That's excellent. Excellent. Christ. Striking another blow at the heart of Babylon. It's outstanding.
Yeah. I generally play by the rules here. So if I get like hit with something and well, we'll find out. I can always just cut that out and just get rid of it. So if you haven't seen the vid where Seth MacFarlane and George Lucas interview each other, then look it up on YouTube. I will. I didn't know that existed. The Substitute 3. I did not know that existed. I appreciate Star Trek Voyager now. Star Trek Discovery made it possible, says Jim Samples for $2. Yes, I agree with that. My Hero Academia keeps me going since Marvel Comics died. I highly recommend reading it if you haven't. $4.99, says Ibisky Gaming. I have heard nothing but good things, including Nerdrotic Jr., who has excellent taste in comic books, by the way, thanks to his dad, who is spectacular. He has a great father. I am going to concentrate on. So we're caught up on that one. Carl Manvers for $2 New Zealand dollars says, small tip to keep the lights on at Nerdrotic HQ. Yeah, I might need them after that, but you know what the hell. Bradman, $10. I want to say how upset I am that the SJWs ruined my shows, but if Danny doesn't burn down King's Landing for no reason, then I wouldn't have found you two. So I'm grateful for it. Hey, Brad, you don't understand. You didn't see the clues. Doomcock, he didn't see the clues that Danny was going to go crazy and burn down King's Landing.
Well, they laid that groundwork so meticulously over, 7 years prior that I don't know how you could have been surprised. Oh, wait a minute. They didn't at all.
They didn't at all. They didn't at all.
It was just out of the fucking blue. Yeah.
Huh. And we had 2 major collapses this year. Just one we saw coming from a mile away. I I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think Game of Thrones would end like that. I thought, like we said before, we'd get some good battles and it would be fun at the end. It would just be fun. It wasn't fun. It made no sense. And now we found out they didn't know what they were doing, and they just had better people around them the crew deserves all the credit for this, by the way. They should get the 200 million from Netflix, not Dan and Dave.
Yeah, really.
Quentin for $10. Call me stupid if you like, but if you really call the Disney trilogy a trilogy, they aren't really closely related, and they are no real singular narrative between them. Just my opinion, though. No, the Disney trilogy is not connected to the original trilogy in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. It might look like it from a distance, but sorry, kiddos. Doomcock was around too. I watched a lot of Star Wars over the years and years. Mm-hmm. Force Awakens was no fucking Star Wars. Neither was The Last Jedi.
Nothing like it at all. Nothing like it at all.
Dr. 14 Blu-ray reviews. For $2. Says E.T. was produced by the woke bitch Kathleen Kennedy. Indeed it was. She went out and ordered the best coffee for Spielberg and got a producer credit for it.
That's right. She kept him stocked.
Why do you think she's spurging out with all of her power? Why do you think she betrayed George Lucas the minute she got control and Disney took over? She is resentful. She hates them.
Pretty much. I believe that's absolutely true. She really does not like them, does not care for them.
DC Customs 2016, $5. Any thoughts on Gervais at the Golden Globes tonight? Those are my thoughts. Brilliant.
Yep.
But I will say this. There's a reason he could go out and do that. Now, he's always been kind of against it, but David Chappelle, and the Fandom Menace. The Fandom Menace. That's right.
Damn right.
Basil, the Pumpkin Seagull. Canadian $5. After 3 minutes of my fiery re-entry, a meteor hit the ground with the force of 20 megatons, and out of the fire and rubble, a swole seagull stepped out. That's his origin story. Awesome.
Wow. That's it. I've wondered where Basil the Pumpkin Seagull came from.
And, I thought you were shit out by Angela after Dr. Manhattan gave her an egg and she got his powers.
That's what it is. He flew, and then the egg cracked and he flew around and went.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my God. Tim Riggs, $5. I live less than 2 miles away from the railroad crossing near Cornbread Road in Muncie, where Dreyfus characters in Close Counters is supposed to live. No way. Muncie, Indiana. Indiana. There was a running back for the Chargers named Chuck Muncie. Did a lot of cocaine, but was really good at his day. He was on the Saints, and then he came to the Chargers.
Interesting.
Yeah. Dan Fouts. Yeah, it was good times. But that's awesome. Tim, get a picture for me. Are you so that railroad crossing? I love that scene. That is such a great scene. Eric Hay for $1.99. Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor for Joker. Well, good.
All right.
Good.
Outstanding.
Good.
I think he deserves it.
Yes. Joker should win Best Picture, but it won't. I guarantee it won't. Basil the Pumpkin Seagull. Pumpkin Seagull. The Pumpkin
Seagull.
Oh my God. You could tell I've been like in this office doing YouTube all day. It wears off.
Dear.
You can only talk for so long and then the words stop working. 5 Canadian pesos. Guys, you should check out Bill Whittle. Hand shot first. Search for it on YouTube. I've heard of that. Fred Richards for $5. Wasn't expecting an Elric of Melonbone reference tonight. Just read the Ruby Throne earlier. Keep up the great work. Yeah, let me flash that a little bit.
Fantastic.
Here we go. This is the deluxe edition. Again, very affordable on Amazon. As a matter of fact, Oh my God, Mrs. Nerdrotic keeps telling us. I have an Amazon influencer page, and it's there because I recommend a lot of stuff. It's only there to where I put all my recommended stuff. I will be putting this in there. This is the deluxe edition of the Ruby Throne, and is done by the French artist Poli. It's stuff like this. It's spectacular.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, so it's good stuff. That's the Ruby Throne. All right, but I don't have the link for it now. I'll get a link for it eventually. I'll look it up in a minute. Do you recall the name of the liver cleanser? Mr. Scott J87. Once I recall the name, it was 4.5 years ago. I've slept a couple times since then, and I did a lot of hallucinogenic drugs in the 80s that I can't even say anymore. Michael Maloney, $2. Strong female hero, Honor Harrington. Honor Harrington.
Yeah, I've heard the name. I can't remember.
I can't place it right now either.
Yeah.
Honorverse. That's right. The Honorverse. It's a book series or something like that. That's why. Okay, I got you. I got to get rid of some of these windows here. There we go. Okay. Where was I? And Fred Richards. Did you see the Golden Globe shenanigans? We just watched some of them, Fred Richards. Thank you for the $2.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for the heads up, everybody. You guys were awesome. Here we go. Ricky Gervais just BTFO'd Hollywood at the Golden Globes. You might want to check it out. And we did. Thank you for the $6.50. You guys are good looking out, everybody. I appreciate you. Basil, the Pumpin' Seagull, for $5 Canadian. Old Indian proverb. Where the rooster goes, the seagull shall follow.
Outstanding. I'm proud to have that. Proud. Thank you, Basil.
Dick Pics for $2. How much of the Matt Smith version did they complete? The Matt Smith version of what? Of Rise of Skywalker. Did you hear anything on that? Like how much of the Matt Smith version they completed?
Oh, you mean of the Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from what I understand, they were whole cuts, so I assume that they got all of the stuff that they wanted from him. But I don't have any specific information about his role at this juncture.
That's weird. I wonder if somebody could just ask him. If somebody in the Access Media could just go, "Were you in Star Wars, dude?" That would answer a lot of questions. I don't know if he can ask. He's going to answer someday. Thacio for $4.99. Could you imagine if there was a new Tomb Raider with a male hero called Larry Croft and saying he's an upgrade from the previous hero? Exactly.
Spot on. You're right.
Arson 74 for $1.99. Congrats on 200,000. Any way Warner Brothers can get away from JJ? They paid him a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't understand what.
Oh, can they get away from JJ? Can they get out of the deal somehow?
Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't have obviously any direct knowledge of the contract, but Jar Jar Abrams, there's one thing Jar Jar Abrams excels at, and that is making contracts.
Yes.
So I would be extremely surprised. I mean, look at what Bad Robot did to Star Trek and what Secret Hideout, which is basically Bad Robot, I don't care what anybody says, is doing to STD and to CBS. I mean, they do contracts that will destroy you, that will kill your soul. So I just cannot believe that they would have a flaw. You know what I mean? That there would be any way out. And without knowing the details, I'm just saying that's my feeling.
Nah, I agree with you. Yeah, they other than eating the 500 million and like, I don't know, maybe forcing him to get out of it, but that money's done. I mean, it's paid, and maybe they could just cut their losses. But that's $500 million. I mean, that's a lot of freaking money. But they're gonna spend the next movie JJ makes. If he makes 2 movies, that's $1 billion down the toilet right there. I mean, that's how much it's going to cost. He's an expensive filmmaker. He's not cheap. He doesn't do stuff under budget.
Mm-hmm. No, he does not.
Arkin $74.99 for $1.99. Congrats on 200K. Again, thank you very much. Nicholas Horton for £5. Kong versus Godzilla is apparently going through lots of reshoots. That's why there's no trailer yet. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe they.
Yeah. That's true. They basically, I hope that what they're doing is they saw the problems with Godzilla, King of the Monsters, of just how shoddily it was shot and put together, and I'm hoping that means that they are getting back into actually shooting it where you can see the monsters, where you're not shaking the camera around. I think that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
so I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. More monsters, I want to see them. It's a real simple formula. Damage and I for $2. Hey, gentlemen, I lost 30 pounds, just cut out the sugar, and that was most of it for me. Damage and I. Also, thank you, by the way. Welcome. We got to get you on FNT, buddy. And it was cool meeting you at New York. Salt, getting the salt out too, because that holds in all the water weight. So, Felipe Abrigo for 25 Chilean pesos or dollars. Guys, did you check out Ricky Gervais on the Golden Globes? That's awesome. You guys are we just had a cultural little moment there, and that's good. We need more of those. And you know what? Let me take this moment real quick. I want to talk about somebody you and I both respect a lot, and it's in the title. Terry Gilliam.
Yes.
Terry Gilliam told it like it is, and he left all the fucks behind because he doesn't give them. Yep. And this is from The Independent. Terry Gilliam, I'm tired of white men being blamed for everything wrong in this world. After 2 decades of trying, the director and former Monty Python member has finally managed to make The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. But he'd rather talk about to Alexandra Pollard about Me Too and the trials of being a white man and why he's decided to become a black lesbian in transition. Which,
yep.
This guy, by the way, the Mary Sue wrote a shitty article calling him irrelevant. It's like, Mary Sue, you're showing your ignorance and why you're fake geek girls. When you call Terry Gilliam relevant, he will never leave relevancy. He is one of the greatest directors of all time, made some of the greatest movies of all time, was part of Monty Python. I'm sorry. Did any of the Beatles become irrelevant? Did they stop being Beatles, former Beatles? Did Beatles music become irrelevant?
Never.
Did Monty Python comedy become irrelevant at some point?
Nope. It actually has gained in time. In time.
So what he said essentially is he was talking about Me Too. And since this thing is getting demonetized to hell and everything, I don't care what we talk about.
Sounds good.
People work so hard to be offended now, he said within a grin. I don't know why I'm doing it. It's not fun anymore. He seems to be enjoying himself today, though. The more incendiary his opinion. So he was trying to, by the way, he probably saw that she was had a stick up her ass and decided to fuck with her. That the Me Too movement is a witch hunt. The white men are the real victims. That actually it's women who hold all the power. The bigger that smile, she mentions. We're in his publicist's London offices to discuss Gilliam's new film, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. But the 79, by the way, he's 79. God, he looks good for 79. 79. Yeah. Terry
Amazing.
Gilliam, 79. Director and former Monty Python member has the other ideas. I'm so bored of talking about the film. He groans, rolling up his sleeves of a maroon shirt, which has a cut not dissimilar to a posh dressing gown, with gray hair cut short except for the long rat's tail around the back, and a weathered face. He looks his age, just about, but he has sharp, keen eyes and the air, energy, and trainers of a man many years younger. You'd think, given that he's trying to make his magical realist adaptation of Cervantes' 1605 novel of nearly 2 decades, he's been itching to talk about it. The film's journey to completion has been so troubled that there were lawsuits, funding failures, collapsed distribution deals, and natural disasters that a documentary was made about it in 2002. Gilliam even started filming back in 2000 when Johnny Depp and Jean Rochefort were in the lead roles, but production was abandoned on day 2 when a flood wiped out the set and Rocher's back went into spasm. Okay, Rocher, I can't say his last name. He's had other setbacks in the meantime. Heath Ledger, the star of the 2009 film The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, died midway through the filming and was replaced by a handful of A-listers. And his 2013 film, sci-fi film, The Zero Theorem, flopped spectacularly. But his early years were an embarrassment of riches. After starting out as an animator for Monty Python, he's responsible for the surreal Dali-esque collages and that famous giant foot. Gilliam soon joined the troupe full-time, the only American-born member among 5 Brits. His directorial debut was then 1975's riotous Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and he helped write the equally adored, though not by Catholics, Life of Brian in 1979. And when the Pythons slithered their separate ways, he kept on going, making work that was weird and fantastical, shot through with dark comedy and dystopian undertones. 12 Monkeys, great movie with Brad Pitt. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, great movie. But the masterpiece is surely 1985's Brazil, an Orwellian dystopian satire starring Jonathan Pryce as Sam Lowry, a low-level government worker trying to find the woman of his dreams, literally. Gilliam teamed up with Pryce once again for the Man Who Killed Don Quixote, which finally got off the ground thanks to a large cash injection, which he says came from a woman who identified with my jihad Mein Kampf. it is a bug. I don't even know. Pryce plays Javier, an elderly man who believes himself to be Don Quixote, and Adam Driver is Toby, an arrogant advertising director who triggered Javier's delusion by casting him in his student film a decade ago. Don Quixote is a madman, says Gilliam, who is reluctantly deigned to talk about the film for a moment, but the view of his world is a noble one. It's about chivalry. It's about rescuing maidens. All these wonderful ideas. The film flits between the 17th century and I'm supposed to say flips between the 17th century and the 21st century, and the clash between modern masculinity and old-fashioned ideals of manhood. There we go. I'm probably going to hate that part of it. Modern masculinity, does that mean we have to wear dresses or something like that? I don't know.
Well, he's just wearing a dressing gown, or I don't know.
Okay, but we're going to get to the important part here. The day we met, Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein, who's been accused of dozens of things that rhyme with drape, assault and sexual harassment allegations that kickstarted the entire Me Too movement, broke his silence to lament the fact that his work has been forgotten and to boast that he is a pioneer of female-led films. Isn't it a bigger problem that men are refusing to take responsibility for abusing women and abusing their power? No. When you have power, You don't take responsibility for abusing others. You enjoy the power. That's the way it works in reality. That's true. It's not about responsibility. It's about the enjoying your toy. Okay. Be you man, woman, whatever. And then the phrase comes up, witch hunt. Yeah, I said Me Too is a witch hunt. He said, there's a silence. I really feel there were a lot of, yeah, I'm sure there was.
There's a silence. In other words, it's you and it's him, and you didn't say anything. So there's a silence. Go ahead. Okay.
Yep. I really feel there were a lot of people, decent people or mildly irritating people who were getting hammered. That's wrong. I don't like mob mentality. These were ambitious adults. There are many victims in Harvey's life, he adds, and I feel sympathy for them. But then Hollywood is full of very ambitious people who are adults and make choices. We all make choices, and I could tell you who did make the choice and who didn't. I hate Harvey. I had to work with him, and I know the abuse, but I don't want people saying that all the men, because on the 1991 film The Fisher King, 2 producers were women. One was a really good producer and the other was a neurotic bitch. It wasn't about their sex. It was about the position of power and how people use it. Being a neurotic and being an alleged drapist are not the same thing, and blah, blah, blah. She goes on to editorialize about what he said. Essentially, this is something I don't like. Well, okay. In Alcoholics Anonymous, I sometimes sponsor people. Right. And one of my favorite sayings to people who start whinging about being victimized, and yes, I'm sounding unsympathetic because I'm not going to give credence to people wanting to avoid responsibility for their decisions, including picking up liquor. You are just because it is a disease doesn't mean you're not responsible for taking that first drink, and you're not responsible for your deeds. I just simply say life is full of choices, and you made them, and you can't. And you. That's it. It's a simple saying, but you got to keep shit simple. You made the choice to go into a room with Harvey Weinstein. Now I'm not talking about the people. There are innocent victims who probably didn't know anything about him, but I knew about Harvey Weinstein. Doomcock knew about. Everybody knew about Harvey Weinstein.
Yes, I wouldn't go up to his room.
If I had a daughter, I wouldn't let her go into a room with Harvey Weinstein because I knew just on rumors I heard. Hollywood is a land of opportunism. And by the way, we just scratched the surface. Harvey Weinstein was a fall guy, so they would shut all the other people up about the other things that go on there. That could bury Hollywood forever. We had a similar scandal at the BBC with a guy named Jimmy. We're not going to get into it, but we did.
Jimmy, yes. Good old Jimmy Savile.
Yep. And there's creepers everywhere. There's women who helped them, and it sucks. And then you had opportunists go out there and hijack the Me Too movement and make it worse and used it to direct attention to them. And then you allegedly have people try and start the Time's Up movement, which was a giant power shift in Hollywood.
Yep. But go ahead and talk about where he identifies as a black lesbian in transition.
Yes. I got to find that part.
It's right there at the bottom.
Is it right there? At
the bottom? You were right there.
Yeah, I was. Okay. Boom, 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 boom.
There we go. Hey, scroll up a little bit.
Okay.
So where she talks about it's deeply tired of being blamed for everything.
It is deeply frustrating to argue with Gilliam. He is both the devil and his advocate. I try to say that it's not that white men are to blame for everything, but they are born with a certain privilege that too often they exploit. He interrupts. It's been so simplified is what I don't like. When I announce that I'm a black lesbian in transition, people take offense at that. Why? Because you're not. Why am I not? How are you saying that I'm not? Are you? You've judged me and decided that I'm making a joke. You can't identify as a black though. Okay, here it is. Go to Google, type the name Gilliam, watch what comes up. What's going to come up? The majority are black people. So say maybe I'm half black. I just don't look it. But earlier he described himself as a white male. I don't like the term black or white. I now refer to myself as a what is it?
Melanin light male.
Melanin light male. I can't stand the simplistic tribalistic behavior that was going on through that's going on through the moment. He smiles. I'm getting myself in deep water, so I have to trust you. I'm not sure what he's trusting me to do.
Well, exactly. That is foolish. For she is going to do everything she can to twist your words and yeah. So that was foolish. But I guess he actually doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't. I'm talking about being a man accused of all the wrong in the world because I'm white skinned. So better not be. So I better not be a man. I better not be white. Okay, since I don't find men sexually attractive, I've got to be a lesbian. What else can I be? I like girls. They're just These are just logical steps. They don't seem logical. I'm just trying to make you start thinking. You see, this is the world I grew up in. And with Python, we could do this stuff and we weren't offending people. We were giving people a lot of laughter. He's right about that. But at his best, Python was.
Here we go.
Oh,
here we go. Here's this whiny bullshit from a millennial bitch that doesn't know shit. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. He's right about that. But at its best, Python was silly and whimsical. It's more pointed satirical moments punching up, not down. At its worst, it missed the mark, objectifying women when it wasn't depicting them as shrill and preposterous, and using racial slurs that would rightly horrify people today. Gilliam doesn't see the difference. Okay.
That's crock. That's a crock. I mean, they would use racial slurs, not approving of them, but actually satirizing them. It was not that these people were good. It was that they were mocking the people that would use that kind of language, honey.
There is Alexandra Pollard, the arbiter of humor.
Yes. I'm glad that she's giving us a scholarly breakdown and dissertation of Monty Python, given that, I've been watching Monty Python before she was born, but never mind.
Yes.
I mean, she looks about 20 or 24.
She does.
So.
And I've seen every episode. When PBS sold that big box set 20 years ago.
Oh,
DVDs,
yeah.
Well, I still have it. Watch it
Me
through
too.
and through. It is one of the greatest things ever made. And of course, I love my sideshow, Monty Python, Life of Brian, and Holy Grail figures, and watch the movies multiple times. I watched Time Bandit probably more times in theaters than I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark. I went back to that movie again and again and again and again and again. Love that fucking movie. I couldn't understand why nobody liked Baron von Munchausen because it flopped, but I loved it. She that's what's wrong with the world. It really is. And there's a 79-year-old man who's not senile, who's seen just about everything, been around the world. This is a dude you listen to. This is a person you listen to. And he was trying to pass on some wisdom. She missed it.
She wasn't having any of it.
Nope.
Because he was mansplaining.
Fucking A.
Oh, it's just
sometimes it's life-splaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like somebody who knows more than you, actually. And you might want to actually listen to them.
Tippy Tail McKitty for $2 says Town Van Zandt was Bob Dylan's favorite writer. All right.
Excellent.
The SSBC candidates, the scabandidates, the candidates, the SSB candidates. I don't know what that spells. For 15 Mexican dollars. My Lord and Gary, would you consider William Defoe for future William DeFalco. I was like, what? For future Exozone. He covers cryptids here on YouTube and seems to be from the Austin area. Yeah, sure. I'd be open to it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Love cryptids.
We do need to get back to doing Exozone.
Yep, we do. I think Thursday's good for me.
Oh, good. Okay.
That
sounds great.
Trooper Bear FN 2525 for $2. I'm on Expanse season 2 because of you guys. Thank you. And thank you, my friend. Adam Wolford for $5. It's tabletop in a series of books. It has houses and clans. They take place thousands of years in the future. Also, cartoon series back in the 90s. Oh man, how come I never heard of the cartoon series? That's weird. I am more into dark fantasy. Dark fantasy is my thing. So it's got to be like other realms deep in the past, stuff like that. But yeah, maybe that sounds cool. It's probably better than Disney Star Wars. I'll give you that. Disney,
for sure.
Destiny Captain for $1.99. Gary, the Morn thing was from DS9. Yes, Morn. Yes. Mech 1164, $10. Gary, B-Tech is a game, but it also is a great book series. Think noble houses in space after the fall from Roman Empire. There's even some barbarian hordes, but with a twist. Look up Mike Stackpole for more. Mech 1164. Thank you for the $10. I will, for sure. One moment. I'm like, I might. Oh, I don't have a figure of him. I was gonna say I'll go grab
Morn.
A Morn, yeah. I don't have a figure of him though. I don't know if they made one. I don't have one for sure. Don't know if they made one, but I don't have it. I was just going to look. I'm like, yeah, I don't have a figure of that. I was gonna go grab it if I did because I have all my Star Trek figures too. You don't ever see them on camera. My Next Generation and all my Star Trek figures are on a wall in an area you can't see, but I can go grab them. Yod Vav for $2. Sup, Gary? Yod Vav for $2 says, said it before, you get my money, not Disney. Yod Vav, thank you. I appreciate it. I hopefully I entertain you more than Disney, and I try to be a little more honest with you than Disney. Okay. Gary, read the Red Rising series. It's free of SJW nonsense. You won't regret it. I guarantee it, says Robbie Wright's code for $5. Red Rising. All right. Once I'm done with the Witcher books and I'm done reading Elric, I will pick it up. Campia is the Mary Sue of shills, says manliness of motivation for $2. All right. I like his co-host, Robert Meyer Burnett. Good man. God bless Ricky Gervais. He ripped Hollywood a new rear hole on the Golden Globes. Mark C., bless you, my friend. Thank you for the $5. Yod Vav for $2. Where's Doomcock's reverb? He only does it for videos.
Well, I can put on the helmet if people want me to, but it's, I mean, I usually don't on live streams, but it's no big deal. I mean, I put on my helmet all the time.
Oh yeah. When he goes to the supermarket, sometimes he's got to go. I know usually I have robots do that for you. Do you have fembots?
No, I do not have fembots.
No fembots. Okay.
No, the Doomcock darlings get jealous.
Ah, got you. I understood. Yes. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Yod Vabs. That's right. Not even Baby Yoda can lure me to get me to buy it at Disney.
Good. Damn Baby Yoda. I'm sure I'd like him if I watched The Mandalorian, though. I'm sure he's fine.
It's pretty cute. It really is. But there is a time where the second to last episode is fantastic. It really is. It's like everything. It's a real TV show. It's and then the last episode, the most ridiculous thing happens. It kind of takes me out of it. So I don't want to ruin it for you, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I guess probably. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it, but people, I don't know. I probably have to look at it.
Captain Spire for $5. Collider failed because they would ask on live streams. Give us questions in the chat. After 2 hours of questions, we all ignored, then buy. We're all ignored and then buy. Yeah, they weren't reading their chat. It's difficult to do that, but when you have 4 fucking people, you can have them read the chat. I read the chat until I just couldn't anymore, but I try. I keep an eye. I got 2 eyes. I got one on both. So when the people are talking shit, I see ya. It just doesn't bother me. Pro tip for YouTube. Don't worry about what other people think. Like, truly drop that and it'll be fine. Everything else will be fine after that. Trooper Bear FN 2525 for $2. We need Wonder Man. Culture hero to the rescue. Wonder Man. Yes. Jay Louvre for $5. We need people like Gilliam. What makes things funny is truth violated and people who refuse to recognize it. Then Clown points out the absurdity. Yes. Jay Louvre, thank you. Unfortunately, good job. This thing is, hang on a second. I'm a little stuck here.
It jumped on you.
It jumped like a motherfucker on me. Ricky Gervais for the win, says Seahawk Scott for $20. Thank you very much, my friend. Mad Vid Perbro for $5. I just saw a bunch of clips of Mark Hamill interviews in Mahler's reviews of Last Jedi. I swear Mark Hamill looks like he's suffering from PSD, from PTSD. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. No, he was visibly upset about The Last Jedi. You can see it. It's no joke. You got to watch the rest of Gervais's clip. It's gold, says Stargate 404. We will. We will. I just can't watch it on the air. I can't believe I got away with that. I'm checking my email.
Well,
I'm actually checking my email.
Hopefully you have.
Yeah, I'll let you know in just a moment if I got away with that or not. I look like I'm okay. I don't see any emails.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're all right. Mark C for $5. You guys didn't even get to the best part with Ricky Gervais. You don't get in trouble. Just watch it later. Yeah, I will. Thanks, Mark C. BBC is making the Moorcock Hawk Moon series soon. Oh, BBC's making it though. Well hung and dong for £2. Oh. Hail Gary and Doom. Do you know Michael Moorcock wrote a Doctor Who novel? He did. An 11th
I did not know that.
He wrote 11th Doctor Who novel. Hail Gary and Doomcock. How are you both? I just got home from the first day back at work. Did you both have a good Christmas and New Year? Gary, I sent you an email back in November. Have you seen it? Disabled Llama for Australian $10. Did it come from Disabled Llama? Part of my confusion is, you know what you guys need to do? Put your YouTube handles in the title. Maybe you did. I don't know if you, but sometimes you don't. And I get a lot of emails. So I want to see it. I'll go check, buddy. And welcome back. Welcome back to work. I hope you're not on fire down there. And we're thinking about you in Australia. That's some serious shit going on. We should call it Disney Trilogy, not sequel trilogy. Says SJ Shady 0169. I try to as much as possible, but I don't do it all the time, and I should. Thank you for the $2. Little Poet Boy for $5. I'm sick of this release all at once bullshit that Amazon did with The Expanse. I literally have to watch an episode a day just to keep myself sane. Yeah, that was dumb that they did that. That was a dumb fucking move.
Yeah, it really hurt them, I think.
It did. It got buried. Twofold. Star Wars and The Witcher. The Witcher stole all their oxygen. The succubus candidates or whatever, do not stream the globes. People are getting banned for it. There you go. for 50 Mexican dollars. I will not do it again. You
Yeah,
should really check out Love and Death and Robots. It's an anthology of unrelated stories with different styles of animation. Really worth the watch. Stargate 404. I've seen it. It's really good. It's really good. Thank you for the $5. Kai MFS for $5. I was half paying attention and high, and I think episode 4 of The Witcher made it clear it was non-linear. I want whatever the critics are smoking. Yes, episode 4 made it pretty fucking clear, but they still couldn't get it because they need their basic spoon-fed shit because they're really not that good at their job, because critics used to have to go to film school, and these are just failed. Right now, these are failed nerds. That's all it is. There's no training. They went to city college. Nothing wrong with that. But listen, nerding is a lifelong thing. It's a lifelong thing. You don't just pick it up and become an expert and think you can fucking write about it in 2 years. It doesn't work like that.
Absolutely not.
And assholes like us will point it out, and we're going to make you feel bad, but that'll get you to go back to work. And if you're serious about your nerding, you will do that. Example, Game of Thrones. I didn't read the books before the fucking show came out. When the show came out, I watched 5 episodes. I bought all the books and I started reading. And by the end of that year, I had read them all once and embarked on my second reading. I have now read all of the books 4 times each. That's read. That's read. I have listened to them much more. So I get obsessed. I'm currently going through that with The Witcher, and then I could beat the shit out of somebody in a trivia contest. And now it has to be fresh when I've read the book fresh in my head. I can take on anybody with lore or anything. And I've got a lot of stuff going on in my head, and not all of it's really clear. There's voices. We'll work that out someday. But yeah. You can pick this stuff up though. If you put in the work, take the time, and you actually love it and you're passionate about this shit. If it's just something if it's a trend you want to be a part of, that's, it works out for some stuff. It doesn't work out for others. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for Star Wars. I rate this stream an F. Admittedly, I only watched the first 3 minutes and then skipped ahead, but I don't know what's going on. 0 out of 5 stars. Says Von Spam for Canadian 5. That's funny. Does DC even have his helmet on? Says Yod Vav for $2.
Well, not now. I took it off.
Yeah, I took it
off.
I
put it on just a little bit ago, and I took it off. It tends to be rather intimidating in chat, so I don't like to just, keep wearing it. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, no, I mean, these are long live streams, brother. I mean, not for you, you're just getting warmed up, but I mean, for me, these get long. How long did Friday go for you?
It went 7 hours.
That is awesome, man. That's fucking awesome.
Well, it's, just got to do what you got to do, right?
Got to do what you got to do, baby. I love it. That's why Doomcock rules. Doomcock is a fucking YouTube treasure, ladies and gentlemen. He's a goddamn YouTube treasure. Treasure him. And go subscribe, by the way, and check out his Patreon and the Harvey Zone too. Harvey Zone and Doomcock's channel are linked in the description. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to both, because that's where the other Inquisitions go that are on his channel. Mine go on Nerdrotic Live. Actually, I really like this system now. I prefer it to what I did before. I like having the extra channel that I can do whatever the fuck I want on, and not have to worry about the algorithm. So
right, the algorithm is tyrannical. I mean, it really inhibits you in ways that you can't even really appreciate until you contemplate videos you would do if it wasn't for the algorithm. I mean,
oh yeah,
and then all of a sudden you realize it's just been tyrannical. Really,
it is. Now there's points where, like, I'm doing a Witcher review. I don't give a shit who watches it. I love the show so much. I'm doing one and I don't care. And you can do that once in a while, but not often. Not often. If you got a video that was a passion project that's not performing well, you best follow it up with something that works.
Right.
Yeah, because that's important. J. Lou for $5. Thank you again for the super chat. Ricky Gervais for the win for $20. Seahawk Scott, the rookie critic. What's up, Rook? Fandom Collective. What's up, my friend? Congrats on 200K, Gary, old boy. I am finished up with the script for my next film projects, The Rookie's Legend. The gods of cinema shall rise. I love that you're creating projects, Rook. Keep doing it. Heart and soul, the Fandom Menace. Love you, man. Love you, kiddo. Keep up the good work. We'll get you on FNT soon. Smooth Jam California for £2. Doomcock was right. Hashtag Doomcock was right, everybody. Hashtag
there you
Doomcock
go.
Was right. Doomcock was right.
Doomcock was right. Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Let's pray. My rumor does not happen with Doctor Who. I'd rather you be right than me. I want to be wrong.
Now, which one?
The one where it was original a female.
I mean, I've already, I've accepted that. I mean, I think you're spot on. So I don't have much hope that it's not the case. I think there's scumbags.
Yeah. You know, it's one thing. You have a female doctor. She romps around. She's gone in 3 years. You don't mess around with canon. We move on. Fine. Whatever. I'm not happy with it, but fine. You go but they have to go mess around with canon. I knew it'd be political and I knew they'd fuck with canon. That's why I was against it.
Yep. And they have. Dave Dahl for $4.99. Hail Gary, hail Lord Doomcock. Red Dwarf returns in 2020. Can Jodie Whittaker play Rimmer's evil twin? Or Reimers? Is it Rimmers? Reimers? It's Rimmer.
Rimmer.
Arnold Rimmer. Rimmer World. Yeah. I love Red Dwarf. It's great.
Awesome. Tristain W for $5. Congrats on 200K. The Witcher reviews where the critic seems afraid to admit that they like it by saying it's so bad it's good is rather amusing. Yes. Critics, a critic writes to make themselves look cool. It's not what they genuinely like or don't like. They just want to look cool. They want their taste to make them look cool. That's it.
Yeah, and also to further their their careers and their business interests, especially these days. I mean, they want to be in conformity to Disney because Disney owns everything, and Disney can blacklist them, and then their career is over because they won't get into early previews and so on and so forth.
Yeah. The problem, because things are so saturated and watered down, most of the people involved in access media, a lot of the people involved in comic books, a lot of the people involved in entertainment, a lot of people here are not, just doing entertainment stuff, see this as a stepping stone to making a movie or some bigger thing. And Lost is the person who just wants to watch movies and review them. The Roger Eberts and stuff like that, which we need. We need honest media. That's the thing. We need it. We need it to be honest, and it's bad that it's not. It's extremely bad. Like I'm good here on YouTube. I don't want to go host a TV show. I know voiceover work would be fun, but now I just want to do this. This is all I want to do, and then maybe have an old bookstore and retire with Mrs. Nerdrotic. Get a trailer. Just retire in a trailer. I'm a very simple man. I'm a very simple man. So, this is all I want to do for a little while, and hopefully I can, and it's great. But unfortunately, God, with comics, people want their scripts written for Hollywood, and we're losing the purity. And I don't mean it in a weird totalitarian sense. The purity of nerddom. The innocence of nerddom. It's gone, and it's just being used and despoiled. And Yad Vav for $5. No comment, but gives $5. Maybe there was a comment. Hang on. Let me see. McKinney 90. It's funny how Benioff and Weiss handled season 8. Didn't think it would bite them in the back of the butt. Dropped out of the planned Star Wars trilogy and then set for H.P. Lovecraft thriller, but nothing since. Yeah, I don't know if you'll hear from them. I honestly don't know. Maybe they'll and this one says, I love you both. Yad Vav says, I love you both, says for $5.
Oh, thank you, man.
Thank you, McKinney 90. They'll probably make a thing where Doctor is downgraded as a punishment. Broken entertainment. Yes. Yes, indeed. Joel Tumburo, Gary, reset the Time Lord's email with my name on it. Okay, I'm going to see how long it is, buddy. Joel Tumburo. Okay, so this is from Joel Tumburo. It says, hi, Gary. As a Whovian from the Baker days and who has seen episodes back to Hartnell, here is a perspective on why Time Lords are essential to good Doctor Who in a narrative sense. The reason has to do with the TARDIS, because it can travel anywhere and any when. It has the potential to render any of all decisions made by characters meaningless because if it turns out bad, you can always go back and undo it. Classic Who, before the new series, avoided this issue by having the Time Lords standing watch over the whole space-time continuum, ready to stop such actions as violations of the laws of time. Episodes such as the War Games, Genesis of the Daleks, Colony in Space, and especially Earthshock are examples of this narrative device in action. As such, I disagreed with the decision made by Russell T. Davies when he brought Who back to make the Time Lords extinct, thus removing the barrier to this problem. Since then, writers have had to invent a variety of different plot devices, Reapers, damaged fabric of time, space-time, paradoxes, etc., to allow the decisions of the characters to have meaning by giving them permanence. Hope this helps. And I agree with that. I love the concept of the Time Lord. I think you should. It forced the Doctor to grow, be a little responsible. They invented the fixed point in time, the Reapers, and honestly, I always thought the Weeping Angels played into that a little bit, and we would get that fleshed out, but it didn't. Paradoxes, but they went ahead and brought him back. They did. They brought him back in a decent way, and I was okay with that. And then I was hoping they would reintroduce the whole Time Lord thing to because that's what New Who hadn't done yet, and there would be a new generation that would get introduced to the Time Lords with their sticks up their asses. But there's a reason for that. You're right; they existed for that. But no, I loved the Time War concept. I thought it was beautiful. It was a great way to introduce a new generation, and I always thought they would bring the Time Lords back. I did. But this is stupid. This is just a way to cheaply bring back the Time Lord and Time War. It undoes the Time War. It undoes the sacrifice of all the Doctors at the end of the 50th anniversary episode when they all worked together and it was cool.
Right. Yeah. They don't care about canon.
No.
And they are just trying to, I mean, they're basically pulling a J.J. Abrams. I mean, they're trying to retcon their filthy spore all over everything that came before.
Yep.
And, I think that's it. I mean, that's what Jar Jar loves to do, right? He's reshaped the entire Star Wars saga with his fucking bringing Palpatine back. And I think that's what is going to happen with Doctor Who. They're going to revise everything. They're going to revise the origin of the Doctor, origin of the Time Lords, everything. It's gonna be
that's what they're setting up. Instead of just a Romana show. I mean, you could have made a Romana show, and it could have just been. You could have not had the Doctor for a while and just done Romana getting into adventures, and being Romana, a character people would automatically. There would be no division at all. It would universally be loved.
Yep.
But Class failed. Their spinoff Class failed. And that's what there's so many circumstances that led to this. But you know what, you're right about one thing. You're right about a lot of stuff, Joel. It's a well-written email. Stephen Moffat fucked up Doctor Who with timey-wimey. Blink was great. I loved Blink. It's everybody's primer episode. It was supposed to be a one and done. You aren't supposed to be going back and fixing everything. What he just mentioned, there's laws of time. Dude, it got our second Doctor in a lot of trouble. He got stuck on Earth for a while. There's the trial of the Time Lord. Of course, that was the Valiar, but there was consequences for that. And yeah, they're gonna fuck all that up now, which is too bad. And this seal will mean nothing. And you know what? There was I love classic Who, but what's happening now is almost a return to the humiliating days, the embarrassing days where you're embarrassed to say you like something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, they've really taken all the kind of wonder and imagination out of Doctor Who, and they've turned it into a sad, whingy little political diatribe and I mean, honestly, Moffat was just as bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and all these episodes with women characters that were routinely putting men down, and I mean, I stopped watching it at that point. I just couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah. Moffat's writing had changed. Bulls Trek has brought this up. I brought it up because I noticed it when it happened. Because I was on every website reading Doctor Who magazine, completely obsessed. Moffat's writing changed drastically after he was accused of sexism. It went to his head. A new person comes to the BBC. All of a sudden, he's writing. It's not good anymore. He just stopped being good. I don't think he stopped being good. I just think he has to write with a lot of restrictions at the BBC, and maybe he should just come out to Hollywood at this point. But I don't think he likes it out here. He co-wrote Tintin, the Spielberg movie Tintin.
Oh yeah, I never saw that. I don't know if that was.
I liked it. I thought it was good. There was that had Spielberg, Peter Jackson, Stephen Moffat, Edgar Wright. I mean, it had this superstar thing behind it. So yeah. Smooth Jam California for £5. I haven't watched an episode of Doctor Who in over 2.5 years. That's sad. Since the day Jodie was first announced. Now I gotta read. I can't. This bottom. I hate how the bottom of this gets cut off now. That doesn't work for me.
What, the screen?
The bottom of the screen gets cut out for me. I haven't watched an episode. Now I'm really glad I stopped watching, and you should be. My God, you should be. Yes. Adam W for $5. They have great opportunities with Clara and Ashilder, Jenny and SJ Smith. They still decided to destroy the Doctor on the altar of agenda. Yep. Oh yeah. They had a bunch of opportunities, and they write these really boring women praising each other all the time, positively affirming each other. And then the men kill their moms for no fucking reason. So dumb. So dumb. All right. So we are going to wrap this thing up. I got to make a damn video still. So,
oh my God. Yeah. And you've been working all day in there?
All day. The video is going to be low tier, everybody. I'm not going to do what I did last time. I put in hours. I was up till 3 a.m. And I felt screwed. Yeah. So I'm just going to talk. I'm going to talk about just what I think they're going to do. And that's it. Because I got another Star Wars video to work on after that. And then I got to finish my Witcher review, which will be Wednesday or something like that. But it's been a good weekend. I probably should take a day off.
Yeah, probably.
I really should. After 200,000, I think I could take a day off. Want good shows? Boycott trash. Boycott Disney, says Yod Vav. Or Yodvav. I don't know. Yod.vav. Thank you for the $5. Yes, boy. I mean, like, I do for the most part. Marvel's still part of it. That sucks. But yeah, I do not buy Star Wars merchandise. I don't. None of that. No. Are you guys psyched for Discovery? Canadian 399 says John Man McFly. Oh, I'm so excited. Are you excited?
You mean STD?
Yeah, Discovery.
No. Fucking hate it.
Nope.
Hate it.
Thankfully, we have about 8 or 9 months till it comes out.
Yeah, well, I already know everything about it. And it's bad. It is so fucking bad. I have had, all sorts of leaks and tips and information, and oh boy, it's just, man, they cannot learn. They cannot learn. It is going to be so bad, dude. I cannot even tell you. So yeah, get ready.
It's going to be another situation where nobody gives a fuck, though. It's just nobody cares.
I know. I mean, that's true. That's true.
Right,
And so, I mean, and that's a good thing. I mean, it means we're winning.
Yeah.
The failure of Doctor Who here, the low box office of Rise of Skywalker, it's the worst out of the sequel trilogy. And that's the way it's going to be. Star Trek being utterly irrelevant now, Doctor Who losing 3 million viewers. These are all signs that of the woke apocalypse, that basically their little bullshit political agenda crap, the losses are coming home to roost. And I mean, it sucks for fans, but ultimately this is what must happen before we get something better. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree. And and when Star Trek Picard comes out, you and I discussed this a long time ago on an Inquisition. That's going to suck the oxygen out of the room for Star Trek Discovery. Right now, even the disco fans, it's the only thing they got to fucking hang on to. It's it. Right. It's the only Star Trek out there. The minute something semi better comes, they will be gone. I was at that convention. You've talked to fans in your chat. Even the people who like this show don't fully support it. There's only people who work for CBS or a couple of small channels that want to be shills for CBS, like actually like this show. I can't tell you how many people with disco stuff on came up to me and go, I know what you mean about the show. You got to be a little softer on it, but I know what you mean about the show. I can't tell you how many people came up to me. More people were coming up to me and Mecca and Tom, and they didn't even know what Tom looked like or Rob than actual stars of the fucking show at the convention. And I'm not kidding about that. It was a small convention too. There was not a lot of people there. It was nothing. You come out of San Diego and then you go to Star Trek and you see how small it's gotten. Because I've been to bigger Star Trek conventions. They used to be bigger. They would get 10,000 people, 15,000 people, not 4,000 people. 4,000 people.
Wow.
$10 million an episode in your convention in Las Vegas got 4,000 people.
That is really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. Wow.
Yep. So yeah, it's bad. Yeah. To boldly go where no woke has gone before. Yes. Boldly woke where we've woked many times before. So yes, we will end it right there. Doomcock, please plug your wonderful channel.
I have a channel. It is youtube.com/Overlord DVD, and the Inquisition pings back and forth between this channel and that channel. So please subscribe if you would. That's Overlord DVD. Just search for that and you'll find it on YouTube. And also the Harvey Zone, youtube.com/the Harvey Zone is up there as well. Please subscribe to that. Then I have a patreon.com/Doomcock and subscribestar.com/Doomcock.
Awesome. And yeah, and again, links are in the description right there. When this goes on Nerdrotic Live, his Subscribe Star and Patreon will be linked. The Ricky Gervais stuff will be cut out, by the way, before I load that onto I'm sure YouTube will let me do. I'm sure they're going to provide me the timestamp for it. So I'm going to remove that just to be safe. I don't want my little channel to get anything happen to it. Please subscribe to Nerdrotic Live, because that's where all the Inquisitions go after we're done, and all the Doctor Who reviews that are live. Anything live goes over there, and that's where it lives. If I ever decide to do a car video again, that's where it'll be. As far as anything else, that's about it. That's about it, folks. Thanks for joining the Inquisition for another fun Sunday. It was, again, a lot of fun. I just want to humbly thank everybody. Let me get on camera for this. For passing 200,000 subscribers is not anything I ever expected to do, ever expected to happen, and it was. It's been surreal. This whole 2019, this last year, has been surreal and fun, and I look forward to 2020. And I'm just going to tell you, no major changes. I take life day by day. I run this channel by instinct. Hopefully, it'll just be more of the same. But hopefully, we'll get more good to cover. That's my hope, but hope is not a strategy. So, but until then, positive video, Witcher review coming out, not so positive video, Doctor Who and Star Wars videos coming out this week. So there you go. Until next time, for the future ruler of Earth, I just want to say, not all who wander are lost. And hashtag solo lost money.